All right, now let's start the stream back up. Let's see what it says.
It's live now. Oh. Yeah.
It's streaming. It's streaming. It's streaming. Come on. Come on. There we go.
There it is.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now we're green and healthy.
Okay.
All right.
Solid stream?
Solid stream.
Okay.
Streams are solid.
I'm going to put that back in Matt's
Hello.
hidey hole.
My name is Thomas.
Might have AIDS.
It might.
Matt has AIDS.
Mouth AIDS.
Matt.
Let me put Mixler up here, and then we'll go. So that way I like being able to see people. I think I can do this.
Logan?
I better not. I better do it this way. So, listen.
It looked like a boob.
It did, didn't it? We got boobs this week in the email.
More boobs. Carrie send another one.
Actually, it was. It's funny you should say that, because it was. All right. Now you can see what they're saying.
Wait, so 11 minutes ago, 19 minutes, 20.
Yeah,
now.
it's bottom.
No. Okay.
Start from the bottom. Now you're here.
Tech support, mouth queefs. Yes. Stubbs has AIDS. So you have Dustin and I tonight.
Yep. Okay. Now we're ready to go. I think.
I think so.
All right. And in 5, 4, I gotta turn Facebook off or else I'm gonna be annoyed. All right, here we go. Yeah, just like that. And that's in here. Yep, here we go.
I'ma just do concept. Tick tock. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Huh. Bruh. Bitch. Yeah. Hey. Oh my God, Ronnie. Tick tock. Tick tock. I got you. Yeah. The bitch suck dick.
This episode of the
Last Kicker
brought to you by
Guys Note.
and
Victor Wrench.
Plastic Object.
This program contains graphic material, including offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Pam, come on. We're talking about Texas. Somebody somewhere wants enough cocaine to forget they live there.
Yeah, but not 100 pounds!
Maybe we'll get lucky, find an entire town that wants to commit suicide.
Tingling with excitement, trembling with horror, and throbbing with emotion.
Show number 295. It is it's January 2nd, 2019.
2019.
2019. Oh. And I guess we should just go ahead and reveal it right here off the top of the show. I didn't want to talk about it much our last show, which was the last show of 2018.
Our wrap-up show?
Our wrap-up show. I didn't want to get into
interview.
it because I didn't want anybody to cry, but we'll just go ahead and talk about it now.
Because it's just you and me.
It's
No
just
Matt.
you and I. Stubbs is in the middle of some massive contract negotiations, and he got into an argument with management, and we don't know if he'll be here for 2019 or not.
Ooh.
So, sitting in Matt's chair tonight is Jesse.
That's me.
Hi.
That's me. Hi.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, Dustin.
But it's actually Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Oh,
Dustin, remember when I told you and Stubbs Happy Tuesday on Monday?
Yes, that was weird
Christmas.
too.
That was
And
Christmas.
Christmas, and these holidays do have our days all mixed up. I'm confused as hell.
It's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday. We didn't do a show yesterday on New Year's Day. We were going to,
Thought about it.
but I dropped the ball.
Yeah, you did.
I screwed up a bunch of stuff.
Stubbs kind of did too, though.
And so we were supposed to have a guest in, and we have to reschedule them because of my fupa. Not my fupa, but my fupa.
Faux pas.
So here we are in the studio tonight. It's freezing cold.
It's not as cold as it was this morning. It was gross. It's been gross all day.
Do you like this weather?
I fucking hate this weather.
You don't like cold weather?
I don't like rainy, cold shit because there's people that don't know how to act and drive in this shit.
That's why?
Yeah, it's other people that I got to worry about always, but whenever it's inclement weather,
I love cold weather.
I don't mind hibernating. I would rather be cold than hot, but I don't like this kind of weather because it brings out the crazies even more so.
See, I have a weird theory that is, if it's super hot, I can only get so naked.
Exactly.
But when it's cold,
You can throw on all the layers.
I can keep putting layers on
Yeah.
and put layers on, and I'm totally comfortable. Plus, I
Mm-hmm.
like winter sports better than summer sports.
Yeah, that's true. You don't see much snowboarding and skiing in the middle of summer.
No.
No.
I love snowboarding. I love skiing.
Mm-hmm.
I love snowmobiling.
Curling,
I love curling. I've
Mhm.
become a big fan of curling thanks to the Olympics.
alpine ski jumping.
I have only tried that once on accident, but yes.
Taking like an ATV off that in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Um,
Go up to Winter Park in the middle of summer. What?
used to love riding half pipe on snowboard.
Yeah.
In fact, I saw my sad snowboard is in the garage.
Uh-huh. Cobwebs.
Yeah, it's in its little bag, but the bag, it's been sitting in the corner, and the bag has got dry rot, so it's all eaten through. And I opened up the board, and it's all rusted. All the edges are rusted. So then I was like, well, maybe I'll make a bench out of it, like they do at all the ski shops up in
Or
Colorado.
like that one bar over there. That's gonna be a taco shop now.
Yeah,
Oh, the Grotto. The
Yeah,
Grotto had
the
those.
Grotto had 'em,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I'm a fan of winter. I don't like it around here. I'm kind of like you because people don't know how to drive.
No.
And they freak out when it's just a little bit cold and they start driving 40 on the highway, and it's like,
That's what I was about to say. I got behind someone that was going 40 as soon as it, like, because I cut through downtown.
uh-huh.
I got stuck at the train on Forest Park somehow. I don't know where. Fuck that.
I didn't even know those
Yeah.
tracks are still active.
You would, that's a rant that I can go on later about finding out that if you're stuck at a crossing for X amount of minutes and you call in and they tell you, oh, we're at shift change, so we're just waiting for trains to get on down the line. You just sit there.
Yeah, and
They don't do anything. It's at shift change because that first crew had too many hours and they're just waiting for the other guys to get
And the law is supposed to be they can't block a major roadway, which is considered a 4-lane road,
Mm-hmm.
for more than 8 minutes.
I believe that.
That was what it was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But
No.
in Saginaw, they break that all the time.
Well, this was
All the
on
damn
north
train
side,
crossing.
like exiting off of, Yucca,
Yeah.
north side. You go past UPS and Cold Springs, and it's the train. Like, you can't go around because it's just the train tracks.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, there's the QT and everything. So we were just almost there. And we sat there. We're like, we can just sit and chill for a little bit. 25 minutes later, I went up and, like, called, and the dude was like, yeah, that first crew just ran out of hours.
That's ridiculous.
So it's like, wait, so I've been in the service industry. If we're at shift change, the entire restaurant's going to shut down because they got way too many hours in the week. So hold on, we're in the middle of frying your fries, but they're just going to have to hold on because we're at shift change. Like, that's not supposed to happen with railroads.
Half your order was done, but it got cold because
there
we
was
had shift change.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to deal with this cold food. Half your meal is cold.
And you can't get at the half that's already made. You got to get it all at once.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, but railroads, come on. So I got stuck behind that, and then I did get behind some asshole in a Infinity SUV that was going all of 40 on 121.
So close to where you're talking,
Mhm.
I got stopped this morning by our new commuter light rail.
Very
for the
nice.
first time.
Yeah.
I was pulling up to, you know how Decatur Avenue cuts back behind the stockyards,
Mhm.
and it comes in, what is that, 22nd?
28th.
Past 28th, though. When you go down, you cross all the railroad tracks, and it cuts back where the old Niles City used to be, the old buildings.
Mm,
I think that's 22nd.
Yep.
Or 23rd.
if it's north of there, or if it's south of there, then it's 32nd.
Okay, it's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But you cut back through, and you're on the south end of the stockyards,
Mm-hmm.
and it brings you out there by where Joe T. Garcia's is.
Mm-hmm.
Which got a question for you on that. I've been asking this question a lot lately, so we'll get to that.
Okay.
But those railroad tracks right there, where you can turn and then go down back towards downtown or go towards Joe T's. Bars came down across the new tracks. I was like, everybody was stopping, and all of a sudden, here comes this nice little fancy little bullet train looking thing
Mm-hmm.
breezing on past through
You
there.
think Mayor Fedowap was on that?
Wasn't she on it the other day?
Yeah. She didn't
Yeah.
look too good in that picture either.
Someone took a picture wherever my phone is. I don't know where it's at. I give up. But there's a picture, and I don't know if this is real or not, but it's when they went out to the first trip out to the airport. And if this is real, they got a picture of the Qantas Airbus 380 flying over the commuter rail.
That looks pretty real. That's
I went in there and I zoomed in to see if there was pixelization, like they grabbed the plane to put it in the shot.
what do you think?
The photographer said it was totally real right when it pulled up to the station that the 380 flew over.
Huh.
And that's like the biggest commercial airliner in the world.
Yeah.
Just flying over. It's pretty badass.
I mean,
it's a nice shot.
It's possible
Where's the-
too, you know, with it being.
Where's the good cameras?
There's
Oh,
this
no.
one right here. Here. Yeah, I got that.
Well, can't get to the nudes.
Well,
There you go. If you've seen it on YouTube, there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, International Airport, of course, is going to be flying out of there.
Yeah. I like going out there and just looking at that airplane. I like watching it come in. I'm a airplane junkie.
I'm not surprised since you're a space fan.
Yeah. I have a tracking app on my phone that if I'm just out somewhere and I'm like, I wonder where that plane's going, I just pull it up and be like,
Yeah.
oh.
Or you do the
awesome.
overhead shot. It's
Look.
like, that's what plane that is,
Yeah.
and that's where it's going. And
They're
that's,
going to Singapore. Neat.
Yeah.
I wish I was on there.
Yeah. It's a good way to track and figure out which planes dump poop on places.
Yeah, there you go, too. the frozen blue ice.
Ooh.
So back to my question about Joe T's.
Mm-hmm.
Where you stand on that place?
Mm-mm.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Yes, that's the way I am. I
Mm-mm.
hate that place.
I feel like I'm a true Texan and a true 817er.
That is
because
a,
of-
it's a
because-
tourist trap.
It is. It is. And I don't drink, but whenever I did drink and we went there, it would just primarily be to have pictures of margaritas.
And they're watered down.
And they are, but it is scenic.
The
But
porch is scenic. Yeah.
It's a nice place to kind of sit and people watch. And I think it would be a lovely event space, like if people had receptions there. And I haven't personally been to any of those, but I know people who have rented the establishment out. But I don't point to Joe T. Garcia's for proper Tex-Mex. And between the two, I'll go to the Esperanzas over there on the south side for the food, like the sit down and eat meal, and I'll go to the
Same family?
Esperanzas in the north side for the bakery.
Okay. The bakery, same family.
Yeah.
It's the same food.
Yeah.
In fact, sometimes some of the food is cooked over there and
Carted
carted
south.
across the
Yeah.
street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every time I've been to Joe T's, I got an aunt that used to come to town. She lives in Vancouver,
Mm-hmm.
and she'd come in town once a year for about 2 or 3 weeks, and it was always like she had to make like 3 trips over there, and I'm like, why? This is microwave food.
Yeah. Like go a couple miles south on Main and go to Los Paisanos.
Well, go to Dos Molinas.
Mm-hmm. I had a bad experience at Dos Molinas.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
And
But again, I don't drink, so a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, they got the best margaritas."
well, I usually eat there for lunch, and I can't drink
Right.
margaritas at lunch. Or go up to Los Vaqueros isn't bad.
The one that's right there in the stockyards, that one is the one that I would only go to. I wouldn't go to the one off Berry. Or,
No. But there's so many other good places. And the other thing with my aunt when she'd come into town, they would also go to El Chico quite a bit. I'm like, come on. I can take y'all so many places that are so much better.
Oh.
Why do y'all like y'all's microwave food?
Is El Chico the one that over there off of Camp Bowie?
I think there is one over there.
Did you know that the Don Pablo's finally closed?
They closed the one here on Roof Snow.
They finally closed it.
And they closed the one in Arlington, too.
Yeah.
I guess they're done.
They're done.
The whole chain?
I think so. I think there might be one in Jersey now. Yeah. Authentic Tex-Mex
Yeah.
in Jersey.
In Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because I noticed going to the game, it's been a couple of months ago that they closed the one on Collins.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, huh. And then Jennifer told me she ran over here to Hobby Lobby or something. I was like, did you know they closed the one on Roof Snow? I was
Yeah,
like, no.
like in the past month or so.
Yeah.
Same with like how all the Taco Cabanas are getting closed and some of the Taco Buenos are getting closed. What's going on
Well,
there?
Taco Bueno was just bought out.
Mm-hmm.
So all that's going to change. So whatever you used to enjoy is gone.
I
But that's
never
fine.
enjoyed Taco Bueno.
I love Taco Bueno.
Maybe the party burritos back in the day, but I really don't have the enzymes to digest that kind of stuff anymore in my system.
Well, the thing is that Taco Bueno was always my go-to. If I had the choice between Taco Bell and Taco Bueno, it was Taco Bueno. I grew up next to a Taco Bell, like literally a block away, and we got sick on that, eating that all the time. Or like me and my buddies would go out rollerblading at night, and we'd always swing by there and grab a bunch of burritos and stuff, and then skate. Or even when we were skating on skateboards, we'd do the same thing. But since Taco Casa has made its grand epic return in the last 2 decades or decade and a half or whatever, that has now replaced everything.
I will get me a spicy bean burrito from the Casa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Casa, the way they make things is the way Taco Bell used to make things back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Like, remember the enchiladas?
Yeah.
That's what the chiladas are.
That's what they are.
It really is.
Everything, it tastes like that. They used to pack all that cheese in there.
Yes. And that red sauce, because it's not a hot sauce, but it's not quite an enchilada sauce. What is that?
I don't know. It's thick.
It's good.
It could be human blood.
Yeah.
I don't
remember
know.
the Taco Bell in Azel, they'd try to tell us to be like, we don't have any beans. And it's like, someone needs to go back there and put some water in that bag and go ahead and stir it up. And then you got beans. Like, you can't run out of beans.
Yeah.
Like, fix it.
La Ruda?
Le Ruda on the east side.
I've never been there.
You know, it's funny
I don't
because
know where that is.
Taco Fest is on my horizon. I know that I'm off, but I've got to already start thinking about chili and taco. And
That's
I've got to
4
start.
months away.
Yeah. I was told to work, but not work. I'm not going to work yet. But if I go do a little R&D on some taco and chili, then I will let y'all know.
So, in this Taco Fest,
Mm-hmm.
does Taco Casa count as a player? Can they come in?
We haven't approached them to do it, but
Yeah.
I'm sure they could.
I know our buddies in the Methinks were looking for a Taco Casa sponsorship there for a
Yeah.
while. And then I think, the Mean Motor Scooter guys got a Taco Casa card that was kind of just unlimited whenever you need food.
That's actually kind of pro to have.
It is kind of badass. It's
I would
kind of
not
awesome.
mind to have something like that.
No, neither would I. It's kind of genius. Kind of genius.
Hi, Susie. Hi, RoboTuner. Happy
Um,
Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Trying to figure this out. What is going on? I don't know. Something weird's happening here. So, on our run sheet here, we did.
we have
I guess
show
this is the
notes.
new year. Do you have any radical opinions, Phil and Stubbs?
Hmm.
It is.
No, mine.
I went over to Mass on Friday and Saturday night. I didn't stay long on Saturday night because we had a bunch of stuff we had to take care of because my son's birthday was on Sunday.
Mhm.
He turned 14. And I was kind of stressing out about his gifts because usually what we do is we buy him is like all the gifts for his, or how can I say this? I don't know how to say it. Like if he's 14, we buy him 14 gifts.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That
what we
makes
usually
sense.
do. You
That
know,
makes sense.
however, whatever age he is, that's how many gifts we buy him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this year we bought him a big item.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, we're not buying you 14 gifts.
One big one and 13 little ones.
You're getting, he got a big one and then a couple, like, I think total it was 7 or 8
It's close enough.
is where we stopped at. But the idea was to put them in boxes inside of boxes inside of boxes inside of boxes inside of boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought we had this under control before I left for Mass on Saturday.
Mhm.
And then I started looking around and started stressing out and freaking out because I wanted it to be done perfect for him. Because it's more just aggravation for him.
The reveal. And you getting to enjoy
Yeah,
him
Jennifer and
getting
I sitting there
frustrated.
watching and
Yeah.
laughing. And so then we're at Mass, and let's see, on Saturday it was Garage Barrage and Earthchild Imperious and Chillamundo. I got there for right when Garage Barrage started. And after they were done, I was just like, I couldn't focus. I couldn't pay attention because I'm so worried about these damn gifts. My prescription for Adderall has also run out. So, and it's the holidays. So, trying to get that filled is kind of a pain in the ass. But the
I got
idea,
all my stuff taken care of before.
the idea was to go to my office up north side and find as many boxes as we could. And luckily, like I was stressing out and stuff, and we left midway through, or a couple of songs into Earthchild Imperious.
Mhm.
And we went up there, and sure enough, we found enough boxes and got it all wrapped. So that worked out. So I didn't get to see much on Saturday, but Friday,
Who was playing Friday?
Vodio.
Oh. Yeah, I missed that. I haven't.
It was good times.
I heard that I missed Lindsay Cole entirely, and I heard that
She was there on Friday. I don't know. I didn't see her Saturday.
I know that she left today, but I know that she realized that she didn't see me, and I realized that she was leaving today on the same time. But hopefully she gets home and gets my Christmas card.
Oh,
Or excuse me, holiday card.
your holiday card?
Yeah, I sent. You know how many of those I sent out? Almost 80.
You did, really?
I send Christmas cards, I hand wrap presents, and I make homemade Chex Mix.
I think yours is yours in this. No, yours is in the house. I have all my holiday cards sitting over, most of them.
Nice.
Well, these are all the cheerleader ones.
Nice. But no, like that's something that I've always
I think yours is
done.
in the house, yeah.
Yeah.
Or else I was going to read it and
It
show the
doesn't say-
picture.
It doesn't. It doesn't have. It doesn't say
Doesn't
anything.
say
It says
anything.
season greetings, happy holidays, Jesse and Nick. That's the Phil and Stubbs. You need a little
Oh.
DNA on your face.
Oh, Susie's pulling out the brag badge in the chat room. She saw her 3 times and had brunch with her on Saturday. Oh, she's wanting up you.
Did you hump her like you said you would, Susie?
Yeah. Was there humping?
I'm sure she did. I'm
Was
sorry
there
that
scissoring?
I miss Lindsay Cole, but I have been fighting some more of this sinus upper respiratory shit.
The upper respiratory aids?
I told y'all that I was taking Mucinex straight out of the bottle and halfway attempting to take down the Christmas tree.
And did that work?
And I
How'd
still
that work
got I got a third of the way done with that Christmas tree. It's still up.
Let's see here. On Sunday, I made a trip to Billy Bob's. And this is my first trip to Billy Bob's in about a year.
Oh, I saw your
About
Me
half
Too
a year.
video.
Yeah.
RoboTuner, you're spelling my name wrong.
Yeah.
If you spell it like that, it's
No E
right
on
up
the
there.
end.
There's no E at the end. It's right up there with Rick Springfield.
And Susie and Lindsay scissored. Let's think about that for a little bit.
Whoa. Was that before or after the new haircut?
Okay. I thought about it. So I went to Billy Bob's. When's the last time you've been to Billy Bob's?
It's for a Holy Moly show on Thanksgiving. That's how long ago that was. Maybe
3 years ago? 2 years ago?
no more than that.
8 years ago?
Not quite. I would say maybe 5 years ago. Maybe.
So the place has changed.
Is there still the saddle?
Yeah.
Okay. Has someone got up there and cleaned it and dusted it since you can't smoke in there anymore?
Yeah. And that's the one thing is it's nice and clear in there.
Hmm.
You can see they did a bunch of cleaning. They brought in a new lights, new sound system, new video system.
I feel like everybody was at that show. Like everybody I knew.
All of the entire, I don't know who was at Lola's that night because the entire staff was there.
Yeah.
But it was Toadies and 1100 Springs. Toadies for the last 6 years have played December 30th.
Because that's Toadie's Day in Fort Worth.
Yeah, at Billy Bob's.
Did Betsy declare that, or is that a Moncrief declaration?
I
We
don't
have
know.
the technology,
But
Let
I
me
did
look it
see the
up.
plaque or the little thing they were given. The little
I'm gonna pull that up.
was it a plaque
It's
or was it just a piece of paper?
I think it's just a piece of paper because there's one hanging up whenever you go to the chat room.
Uh-huh.
There's one over the computers that says like the day, like the Night Riders stuff, and then there's something on there too about chat room. But let me look because Mr. VTL
But
posted something about it.
It was a good night. It was a Toady show. This was like I can't really judge Toady shows anymore because I've seen them too many times.
Right.
And it was good. They sounded great. It was fun.
Oh, it was 2017. So Betsy declared it.
Betsy did it.
Mhm.
But it was Billy Bob shocked me when I walked in, and the first bartender I see has a 12-inch purple mohawk. And then I look around, and the girl working there has a half-shaved head with leopard dye, piercings, plugs.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay. Walk around. There's another girl in an old original Metallica shirt, beat up. There was another girl in a Baroness shirt.
Like Kill 'Em All or Ride the Lightning?
It was Kill 'Em All. And I'm like, what's going on here? And it just progressively got more punk rock as I got closer to the stage. And I was like, this isn't the Billy Bob's I'm used to.
They cleaned it and everybody
yeah.
turned into a punk and
Now
lost.
it became punk rock heaven.
In the middle of the stockyards.
Yes.
How does that happen at closing time?
But it was pretty awesome. I was like,
I imagine it
all
kind of
right.
like West Side Story, like right there in that little alley by Neon Moon.
Start beating the hell out of each other. Which they said the night before I started talking to security as I was waiting up by the photo pit. That Whiskey Myers was there the night before, and they said there were fights everywhere because of the douchebag.
Rednecks.
What is it? The frat boy redneck crowd were getting in fights, and the guy was telling me that this Marine like took on like 6 guys at once.
Semper Fi, I'm gonna beat them all
Beat the
up.
hell out of you. He said he just started beating the hell out of everybody, and it took like 4 of them to take him down. Oh, but it was good times. I'm gonna go back on the 11th, I think. Crackers here in Camper Van Beethoven.
Okay.
And I'm
Is
gonna
it
go.
Cracker or Uncle Cracker?
No, it is the Cracker. The band, the Cracker.
Okay.
And what's his name? I guess is doing double duty because his first band is opening for his second band. Can't remember that guy's name. And then, of course, we had New Year's.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I had a good time.
You did?
Yeah.
That's the way we do it around here. Is just chill the hell out.
That was nice. I think Nick had a good time.
There's no... We don't get chaotic. The most chaotic we ever get is if like we break out rock band. And then everybody's singing and playing drums and
That can lead to a good time.
plastic guitars. And I thought about it, but then I just never...
I think Allison was kind of like hitting at it. She's like, I want to sing. She was saying that. Well, because we left here and we made it to the chat room. And of course, they had it on Rockin' New Year's Eve there too. And it's doing the countdown. And we're looking at our phones. And our phone's already at midnight. And some of our friends are already looking at their phone. And they're married and they smooch. And we look at each other and smooch. And TV turns to midnight and smooch. And you paid cash? Yeah. You ready to go home? Yeah.
Done.
In bed by 12:25, dog snoring. Like,
It's a way to do it.
that's how we did it.
This year, we actually... A few people hung around till about 2. Because then we started cleaning stuff up, and then we just started shooting the shit and talking more. And then it's like, oh, okay, we're going to talk some more. Well, let's pour some more drinks.
Did y'all eat all of those cookies I brought over?
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost. They're almost all
those
done.
chocolate ones.
I think I just had the last one
I
before we came out here.
I still have some more of that cookie dough, but I had to watch myself just even taste testing those because I'd have to go sit down for a minute. getting a little.
I'm kind of
My blood sugar is getting a little high.
the older I get, the more New Year's Eve out I get. I mean, it's just another night. Who cares?
I like there was something I saw. It probably was on Reddit, but it's all the years that Neil deGrasse Tyson has put Happy New Year for those on the Gregorian calendar. This day means nothing in the astronomical sense.
Yeah.
And he's like said it, and it's like if the rest of us could just let people have a good time, like that Neil is like the Legion of Doom, just trying to shut everybody down. Like, sorry.
And didn't he just get pulled up on a bunch of charges?
I don't know.
I think he is.
Oh, let's
I
pull
think
that
he's
up.
getting Me Too'd. I think someone's after him and they're trying to take him down. And another thing I found out this week.
At the Toady Show?
No, I found this out on Monday. Is that Cowboy playoff game is going to be on Saturday. And I'm pissed off.
Yeah, I thought you were told it was going to be on a Sunday.
I was told it's going to be on a Sunday. But when things get flexed around, when the NFL decides to flex their wiener and move more marquee games to Sunday, they move the Cowboys in Seattle to Saturday night, which pisses me off because there's been a show I've been looking forward to for 17 years that is happening on Saturday night.
Where at?
The Kessler. And I found out about it a couple of weeks ago. Marlon told me about it. Well, a couple of months ago. The Tomorrow people are reuniting. And supposedly this is not going to be their only show. They're reuniting and recording. And they have new members. There's a female in the band now. So I was really, really, really interested because that was one of my favorite bands in the 90s. Because they're an offshoot of Brutal Juice. Some of the members of Brutal Juice formed this because it's a lighter, poppier, happier side of things.
And what is it?
The Tomorrow People.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm really, really pissed that I'm not going to be able to go to this show now. And I hope there are more. And I hate the NFL.
Stupid NFL.
For screwing things up. Robotuner's going to New Orleans? Why are you going to New Orleans? I'm not going to wait around for him to say this.
No.
And before the show, we started talking about Twitter.
We were.
You use Twitter a lot?
Occasionally.
Does it aggravate you that no one around here uses it? That, from what I've noticed, is when I go to the West Coast and the East Coast, everything is Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter. Get to me on
Twitter everywhere.
Hit me up on Twitter. If you want to get a hold of me, shoot me a message on Twitter, DM me on Twitter, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was throwing out their Twitter handles, especially about 5 years ago on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're here in the middle of the country, everybody looks at Twitter like, well, what the hell's that? Unless you go to Austin.
True. There's a handful of people that are active on Twitter. I see more often than not that most Twitter accounts are being used as kind of an elephant graveyard dumping around from their Facebooks or their Instagrams.
And it just rolls over to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Case in point.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to get all that login information.
Oh, no. Well, mine was hacked a few years ago.
I've seen people, like, I'll get like the random, it's almost kind of like whenever people do the tagging of, oh, here's this Ray-Ban ad. Oh, cool. Oh, you got hacked. Yeah. I've had a few people like message me and then it's like, oh, it doesn't do anything except for like maybe like a Gmail link. But then you see like everybody's like user handles and they're all, you look on their timeline and it's just like all of the A's, all of the B's. And it's like, you haven't been active since 2013. How the hell did you get hacked?
Well, I went in, I was using it really heavily, and I got hacked midway through, and then I just kind of stopped because it was funny. It was like a porn company that hacked me, and they started following all their people on my account because I went in there one day, and I was like, oh, all of a sudden, I'm following like 5,000 people. And so I go through there and I start looking.
And they're all bots.
And it's all porn stuff. All
sex bots.
Yeah. And so as I tried to delete them and get rid of them, more kept getting added. I don't know what the hell was going on.
All the porn.
And I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to stop now. So if you go look at my Twitter and the people I follow, it's usually all porn stars are all sex bots.
Yeah.
And it's pretty funny. But, I would have sex with a robot. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna deny that. I was gonna go to Houston and have sex with a robot
It's
for research
2019.
for the show. Come on.
I mean, 30 years to be 2049.
It will be.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to be hovering in vehicles by now.
Oh, I still want teleportation.
I would love teleportation.
Teleportation. My night vision is so bad that I really wish teleportation was a thing
Just bounce around. I mean, there's no way to do that, right?
that we know of.
You have to tear your molecular structure apart and reassemble it somewhere else.
And obviously something doesn't all come together right each time.
It doesn't.
Nope.
And
There's plenty of things wrong with me. I don't need molecular restructure building
Look.
to make something else not be right.
I've already got a small penis. I don't need it smaller when it's reassembled.
Well,
Wait, did I just
the
confess
robots.
that?
The
On air?
robots.
I don't need the robots to put that back together.
Whoa.
What?
He brought up Demolition Man about
Oh,
having
alright.
sex with robots.
Oh. Well, you know, they had that robot brothel they were going to open in Houston. That guy was going to open up. It was like the middle of last year. And I was going to go down there. And, you know, it's going to be research, right? Matt and I were going to go down there.
How much does it cost to be a part of that?
To have sex, the research or the
Mhm.
sex with a robot?
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's like a robo cat house. So
My problem is, how clean are they?
like what operating systems are they running on?
What if you're banging it and all of a sudden just goes to blue screen of death? Then what? What do you do?
Go into DOS.
Oh
no.
Reboot this thing. I was almost there.
Oh no.
Oh.
You have to know. That's why I was like, can we just skip all of the slang and just start speaking binary code?
Just spit ones and zeros at each other?
Yeah.
Oh. That would be funny though.
I
Like what if the robot got pissed and just tore your dick off?
Apparently Stubbs is already used to putting his penis into metal objects.
Wait, where are we? Huh?
RoboTuner, what are you? We never said anything about Stubbs putting his penis
We're gonna have to put the
into a robot. He's not here to defend himself on that. Contracts are being negotiated.
Yeah. We're about to have to put the squash on using his name till the contracts get
We might have to
all
get
cleaned up.
C&D on some of that stuff.
True. So the big thing that's going around, and I finally broke down and did it this weekend, was Bird Box. Why is everybody shitting on this movie?
I'll order a bark box.
A Birch Box?
Birch box.
Birch Box is a food, right, that comes to you? It's
Isn't that makeup?
Was Birch Box makeup?
I don't know.
I thought it was the granola bar box or whatever. They would send you granola bars and health snacks. Was that not it?
Is that what bird box is? They send you little suet, little bags of suet, and tell you how to put peanut butter on a pine cone. Is that what's in a bird box?
So I had a friend that I respect highly that I went to school with, and he was a pseudo movie critic for a while, and he just destroyed this movie. Went off, like just started ranting about it on Facebook. So I was like, okay, I gotta go watch it because if he's ranting this hard, if he's taking the time to rant this hard,
I've seen people
gotta be
rant about
bad.
it, and people like are defending it. It was like, man, I was just staying with it the whole time. And then I see people that are like, well, that's 2 hours and 4 minutes that I will never get back.
it wasn't that bad. I mean, if you got other shit to do, like I was editing photos the whole time, so I had other shit to do.
Mm-hmm.
I just had it on. I watched
So it was just like background, but it wasn't enough to make you stop what you were doing.
a couple of times. I did stop what I was doing to see what the hell, like what, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Robotuner, you're right. As I'm sitting there watching it, I'm like, boy, this soundtrack sounds awfully familiar. As the movie's rolling on, and I didn't know that Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross did it until the very end, because I kept telling Jennifer, I was like, this sounds awfully eerie and awfully familiar.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, so when it was over, it's like, we got to watch these credits, and sure enough, they popped up.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, even if I had known that or not known that, I still would have watched this movie just because everybody's talking about it, and it wasn't that bad. It wasn't the worst thing ever made. That's what a lot of people are saying.
I just have seen everybody's reaction to it, and it's already kind of beat the dead horse that I don't even want to take the time to watch it.
Don't you hate that when that happens?
Yeah. It's like,
Like,
y'all
everybody
have
talks
killed
about
it.
it,
Like
yeah.
everybody was talking
Thanks.
about that. Did anybody take the time to watch season 3 teaser trailer of Stranger Things?
I did.
I did too. But I still haven't watched Bird Box.
Hmm.
I don't have AIDS.
I want to watch that that movie that Jonah Hill did
Mid 90s.
mid '90s.
Yeah.
Speaking of doing the soundtrack, because they did the soundtrack to that too.
Hmm.
But I do want to see that, and I've seen some people talk about it.
I've kind of seen mixed reaction from that too, but that was also one that was only in small release. It was one of those just kind of IFC type films that
But it's not on a streaming service yet.
I don't think so. It
Hmm.
might be. I mean, I can look that up since I'm doing.
Can
all
you
the
stream
things.
it?
Hey, don't
Can you
cross.
stream?
Don't cross the
dot it?
streams.
But it wasn't that bad. I mean,
I-
have you seen A Quiet Place?
I haven't.
That
Was that Ryan Reynolds?
no, that is
Jim.
yeah, Jim from The Office.
Yeah. John
Krasinski.
Krasinski.
That's the movie he did, and it's kind of like that, but instead of it being audio, it's visual. Instead of making noise, having to be quiet,
Mm-hmm.
you just can't open your eyes and look at things.
I'm out. I'm out. I don't want to waste time watching it. That's why I just.
Well, thanks everybody for spoiling it.
Yeah.
To the point that Jesse didn't want to watch it.
I mean, I finally caught up on True Detective. I'm ready to watch that. I haven't jumped in to Game of Thrones yet.
So I'm going through the second season for the second time
Okay.
of True Detective, and last night we stopped after the orgy, or the
Oh, where she got the.
yeah
Yeah.
the Molly, the
Mhm.
mouth Molly.
Mhm.
Speaking of which, is that available? Are there places we can get that?
I don't know. I saw something about rich white women wrapping ecstasy in brie and calling it brieing. Apparently, that's a thing.
In cheese.
I guess.
And
I don't think
you
it.
just
I
eat
don't
the
think it was.
cheese?
I don't think it was a fake article.
Hey Susie, see if you can get a spray version of Molly.
It's like Banaka, but
Yeah, it was Banaka. They just sprayed it in their mouth,
she's trying to
They
make
were good
herself
to go.
gag. Ugh.
and then they had the giant
Orgy.
bowls of Viagra.
Ugh. That was a terrible.
I was like, that is a lot of Viagra pills right there. But then everybody in there was over 70.
Yeah, they probably needed it. There was
I
a lot
remember
of
that orgy
wrinkly
scene being a
ball
lot better.
sex. You know,
Let's-
the best thing about season 2, I think I've come to realize, is that the last 15 minutes of it is the best part of the whole season.
Which we're approaching.
Yeah.
And I'll
Yeah,
have
Jennifer said y'all had like 2 more
to-
episodes.
yeah, we have 2 left.
That's where I was when we were talking about it last. I finally finished it and was like,
Yeah.
okay. Then
Yeah.
Spawn, you went and did that. Okay.
Neat.
So then I thought about it. Remember how I was talking about his clubbed thumb, and then I thought, wait a second, he talks about the rat chewing on his finger. Is that where they're going to try to tie that in? That's what's wrong with it, is that
Yeah.
a rat chewed on
A
it.
rat chewed on his fingers.
They really did put that in back of his story just to be in case his hand was on screen.
I did forget about the greatest scene, I think, of my favorite scene of season 2 is the sit down talk they have at the kitchen table and how tense it is when they're both sitting there talking to each other and they both have guns drawn on each other underneath the table.
Yeah,
It's just like, Vince Vaughn's like, I'm going to put my other hand up here and I'm going to ask you, please do not shoot me.
Yes. And then she's all like, keep it holstered this time.
It's pretty awesome.
I mean, it picked up the last 2 episodes. It got good, but eh. And I
It
don't
is
know.
eh.
It was kind of eh. And reading the ranking and how it was explained on the ranking article from our show notes, I was like, oh, yeah. It was real good, and then followed up by some real steaming hot garbage.
Yeah.
So let's see what season 3 does.
And I really thought it was going to turn around when they finally found the carrion birds hovering around the outhouse.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay,
They'll paint a cabin with you, too. Mm-hmm.
now, okay, we've got a cabin and we're going to see some
There's blood and
There's blood and-
crows. Yeah.
we're going to see some bone.
No. No devil traps.
Maybe some
Antlers
devil tracks. No antlers.
No.
No, nothing. Just blood in a chair.
and some crows.
I think because California doesn't know how to do things creepy.
You leave it to Louisiana.
Yeah.
Where's the next season going to be?
Arkansas.
No.
There's
Okay.
creepy shit in Arkansas.
There's a lot.
Arkansas scares the shit out of me.
It is creepy.
There are 3 states that scare the absolute hell out of me.
Okay.
Louisiana.
Okay.
Except, well, yeah, New Orleans scares the shit out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of weird stuff. I love New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of weird voodoo shit that goes on down there.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
Literally. Yeah. There's what's her name's voodoo house. You walk in it and you're like, whoa, they sell all this shit?
Madame Tussauds?
Yeah. I can buy a baboon heart. Really? On
chicken
the street?
feet
I
by
can
the
buy this?
pound?
I can
Yes.
do all this. And then Arkansas.
Arkansas. The way that the highway splits and you're going through the trees.
Yeah.
That creeps me out.
And there's all sorts of hillbilly backwoods, and
Cue the
there's a
Deliverance
whole
music, the dueling banjos.
there's some type of valley somewhere in Arkansas where everybody's inbred, and there's like Cyclops children running around with, I don't know,
The
3
hills
arms.
have eyes.
Yeah.
Type. Yes.
And then I was
Some
gonna throw
Appalachia
Mississippi in there
environmental- Oh.
because Mississippi gets weird racy. Gets very, very.
How many crosses and abortion billboards do you see when you're driving through there?
A lot.
Exactly.
And then they're still burning crosses there.
Yes.
But I also want to throw in West Virginia creeps the shit out of me too. And I think a lot of that has to do
I will refrain.
is Justified. Watching Justified and all the
Mountain
hillbillies.
Mama!
Yeah. That
Sorry.
well, RoboTuner, okay, first off, Susie says that California had Charles Manson and the Night Stalker.
And Ted Bundy.
Yeah. And then RoboTuner brings up Alabama, but let's be honest, Alabama and Mississippi are the same state, right?
Inverted.
They're just
like
just-
a little locket of,
I mean,
of racism.
that's what it is. It's a locket of racism. A locket of
gem.
racism. I like that because they are right. I mean, it's the exact same thing. You don't know when you're in one or the
man.
other. You can be driving along that Gulf Coast and be like, okay, are we in Mississippi or are we in Alabama? They look exactly the same.
They do. It's kind of stereotypical.
Yes. And they're the inbred states. It's like they're the kissing cousins, the closer kin, deeper in states.
It makes me think of the Pure Blood. It's the dude that kind of looks like Sid from Ice Age, like holding the flag, like the Swazi and everything. And he's got an overbite and one eye's obviously bigger than the other one.
Yeah.
Pure Blood, huh?
Yeah. See, I used to.
Ugh. See, I grew up near Boyd too, so you know.
Oh
Yeah,
Boyd.
Wise County.
That whole Wise County thing.
Ugh.
We used to go to Disney World every other year,
Mhm.
so we would drive, and I always knew on the way to Florida that once we hit Mobile, we were safe. Once you go through the
Y'all
tunnel
just
in
take
Mobile,
10 across.
yeah.
Yeah.
But once you hit the tunnel in Mobile that goes underneath the ship channel, and you come out that other side,
You can unlock
there's
the
Florida,
doors.
and we're safe. Florida's right there. I can see it across this bridge, and we're safe. And we stopped at a Cracker Barrel in Alabama once, and I didn't stay.
I feel like
We walked in, looked around, and went, "Yeah, we're gonna get out of here."
I wear enough offensive clothing, like various black T-shirts. Like, I mean, I think I'm still wearing the "I'd sell you to Satan for a corn chip," where it's the crow. But like, I have plenty of shirts that say like "Religion is dead" and have a church on fire
Oh,
that
they'll
says
kill you there.
Stay lit." Like, whatever, you know.
They'll
But
kill you.
Nick got me one that has it's like the pitching it in the trash can, like the "Don't litter." But it's pitching the Swazi, and it says "Keep your country nice and clean." Like, I feel like I need to wear that in the Deep South.
Yeah, there you go.
Lord.
It's scary. That whole, I don't know. If you can get gas in Louisiana and make it through those two thumbs into Florida, you're good. Although everybody talks about Gulf Shores being nice. The Alabama.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't.
It is an island. It is separated from the mainland.
Yeah, like I had friends of the family that were in Dauphin Island, Alabama,
Okay.
and so then of course you're right there on the Florida Panhandle, anyways. So it's almost kind of like you're attempted Florida because you're out there in the Gulf.
And let's be honest. Now, the Panhandle of Florida isn't that great either.
Mm-mm. I don't think any kind of Panhandle-esque.
Although the greatness of Tom Petty comes from there, but yeah, it's not the greatest. Any more states we can bag on real quick?
Oklahoma. It's still a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not much, and there's not really much of anything north of Oklahoma City whenever you're heading up that way, anyways.
All the cool stuff in Oklahoma is on the east side.
Okay.
Broken Bow.
Yeah.
Is beautiful.
Yeah.
I love Broken Bow.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite places
East
to go.
Oklahoma, but then you're getting close to Arkansas.
That's the thing. You're getting close to Arkansas.
You're getting near the Ozarks.
Getting close to those Ozarks.
Ugh.
And there's that one religious town that's right between both, that's on the border.
Washita.
Is that it?
That's where that.
Where you all of a sudden transported back to the 1800s?
Yeah, there's like the Christian University and stuff there.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Washita. It starts with O-U. Yeah, Washita.
Washita. Yeah, that creeped
I went
me out.
to-
We drove
okay.
to that once. I was like, what is this?
I've already. I mean,
You're shamed for driving a vehicle.
I grew up Southern Baptist, and my grandma was Pentecostal.
Could you dance?
I mean,
Are you allowed
yes,
to dance now?
Yes, it wasn't Church of Christ. It was First Baptist Church. Church of Christ is the one that you can't.
Are they Baptist too?
Well, no, some Baptists are kind of closed though.
Okay.
But being raised like around Pentecostals, where yes, you dance and you speak tongues and you do all the crazy stuff, and play the tambourine, and go do convention and stuff. But it was up in, I guess, Tallahassee is the name of the little mountain town, and so like going up to like church camp, it would be the fact that there would be like logging trucks. Sorry, I had to do a minutia moment, and you're going to be in my book whenever it gets done. I'll explain that later.
Okay.
You're like, what? Why are you taking a picture?
What is going on?
Everybody, there's everybody that knows me knows minutia, so there's Dustin in that minutia moment.
Okay.
That's a $15 app that you have to be real all about. But up in the logging roads and the mountains up in East Oklahoma, it's creepy up there because you are getting right up there in the Ozark territories. And there's snails. There's snails up there.
We went, the last time I went up to Broken Bow last year, we went driving up because that's what we do is get out, get one of those log cabin condos that are huge and can sleep,
Out in Broken Bow?
Yeah, 40 people or whatever, and then there's all those logging trails. Well, we go cruising up those logging trails, four-wheeling and back up in there and see how far we can get and try to get somewhat lost to where you have no signal, you have nothing. You're out there, it starts getting creepy.
And you like come up on random dams, like huge-ass lakes just out in the middle of nowhere? Yeah.
Or you just roll up and there's a trailer.
Oh,
You're like, oh.
You got lost and you live here now too? Cool.
Or are you cooking something out here?
Oh.
Like, well, is this some type of factory?
I see that your pants.
Are you making something?
I see that your pants are hanging on your front porch and you came out with a gas mask on.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah. Or you're just kind of cruising through these trails and you've been up there like 2 hours back up in the middle of the woods and some guy just comes walking out of the woods and walks across the road. You're like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Where are you? There's nowhere for you to go. There's nothing around here.
In leisure wear.
Yeah.
Like no camo, no blaze
hey man,
orange.
what's going on? Where did you come from?
Mullet,
Where are you going?
Van Halen t-shirt.
Yeah.
Jeans. Like Joe Dirt replica.
Yeah, totally. Total Joe Dirt replica.
What are y'all doing on my
I don't know.
My
creepy.
lawn?
Oh. Again, I'm always afraid I'll get back up in there and then we'll get to a point to where we have to turn around and go back. And someone will cut down a bunch of trees behind us. And we're like, What? We're trapped now. What's going on? Get out and pull these off the road.
Imagine what's going on in the national parks now.
Yeah, you brought. Let's go to that. Since you're bringing it up.
Since I'm real good at segueing and
You are
keeping
good
stuff
at segueing.
together, I've had people tell me that.
So I
Go
didn't know
me.
about this until yesterday, and I
About-
didn't put two and two together.
Yeah.
Which this also means the game wardens aren't working.
Well, on the federal level, the state
Yeah.
parks, the state parks.
State parks are still going.
Yeah. So, but you think Texas Wildlife and the game warden part of that entity, like it's on a state level?
Well, those
Or is
guys
that
are state,
federal?
but the federal game wardens aren't working.
Is anybody working the
Federal
border right now?
That was my next question. Huh.
Good question.
So the government shut down for our fans that are over in England, because we have some, and in Kenya, and we're huge in Russia. Believe it or not, I don't know.
Are they real?
So the U.S. government has shut down, which means nobody's working, and it trickles all the way down to the National Park Service.
Mm-hmm.
So there are no park rangers or
There's
people cleaning
yeah.
and taking
admissions.
admissions. So the parks
And-
are wide open right now.
There's just skeleton crews. So there's people going out there that are volunteering their time. And when I first heard about it, because when it first shut down, I was seeing stories about people going in and scrubbing the toilets and taking the trash out. And then it's like they were just volunteering their time. And they realized how big of an undertaking that is. So they
Yeah.
stopped doing it. And so I read an article about in Yosemite that part of one of the redwood groves is currently shut off to people walking through it because people are just going out and taking shits in the woods because the bathrooms are in such disarray that people are going and shitting by these mammoth redwood trees and just leaving their shit.
So now it's become a
Health hazard.
biohazard area.
Yes. Yes. And like I mentioned,
What's wrong with people?
like there's people that are coming over here on vacation from all over the world. Like I don't know if anybody else has been to any of these national parks, but I went to Yosemite 2 years ago. And you hear German, you hear Japanese, you hear all kinds of stuff. And there's all these people that if they're coming here to see our national parks, and I'm sure they probably know with the whole government shutdown, think about that. Like, are there people going and taking advantage of it? Yes. Are there people that are destroying this property? Yes. Like, what are we going to do whenever everything comes back up and the people are having to take care of all this shit? Like, look at the trash cans outside of Washington Monument.
Yeah, that picture, the ones outside the monument, and the ones outside of the White House.
Yeah. Like, I can't even think of what kind of dystopian future sci-fi that we're supposed to. Oh, yeah. 2019 to 2049.
So the law changed at the beginning of 2018. Trump changed the law that it used to be when the government shut down, the park services would stay open, or the park service workers would still work.
But remember with the whole alt national, like if he pissed everybody off.
Well,
so
that's
they were
when
all like, fuck that.
Well, when he changed the law in the beginning of 2018, it was when government shuts down, they shut down too. They don't stay open. And yeah, it's pretty chaotic. People, like I was reading an article today, and it talked about how people all the parks are overflowing with people because you don't have to pay to get in.
Yeah, like so.
And people are camping wherever the hell they want to now. And
that's what I was saying. Like, their people are off-roading and making their own trails and
they're
cutting
hunting.
shit. They're hunting. Yeah.
They're hunting, like they were talking about up in Yellowstone. You know,
Mhm.
they're afraid people are going to start hunting the wolves and the bison.
Mm-hmm. Well, I saw that Rocky Mountains just closed, and because there's already snow everywhere, and Utah's closed off in a couple places because they can't afford to plow.
Yeah, they can't plow anything.
So think about that too. Think about the states that are getting
Dumped on right now.
I mean, like Oklahoma getting 7 inches of snow.
Well, and it's not just, there's a lot of federal forest that isn't a major tourist attraction,
Mm-hmm.
like the San Juans.
Mm-hmm.
And you need people.
I worked up in the San Luis, like up in South Central Colorado, like off the Conejos, up in the I can't even think. The Rio Grande National Forest.
Right there where Chama is and all
Yeah,
that? Yeah.
exactly where Chama is, and Antonito, and it was Platoro, and
Okay,
like the
yeah.
Platoro Dam, and it was Skyline Lodge is who I worked at.
Okay.
So, but yeah, whenever it's just 25 miles up the dirt road to get there, and it's a Forest Service road.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people go and they let their cows go and graze out there, but there are people out there just going and doing whatever the fuck they want.
So my question is, since all this is happening, is why isn't there another Bundy situation that happened in Oregon? Because the BLM's not working. He can start grazing his cattle, and we're going to get into another freaking war. There's a good podcast out there that is just about that whole Bundy situation and how crazy they got, and how, there for a little bit, I was on their side. I was like, yeah, if it's
not federal land,
if it's not federal land and it's open to the public, then you should be able to, let your animals graze on it or whatever. But then
you don't form a small militia.
Well, the podcast goes into, it talks about how they basically became terrorists, homegrown terrorists before they even took over that lodge, and that whole standoff happened at the lodge. But they were bombing different places, different hotels. They were after different attorneys and stuff. And
It was like Ruby
was
Ridge,
crazy.
but on steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing that live when they made the run for it, and they went through that barricade, and the cops just started shooting and freaking opened up. Like the helicopter's following them, then it's like, oh shit, because you're just seeing cops open up on that.
It's like
That Suburban or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I'd forgotten about that.
But-
There's so much random shit has happened. So much terrible shit has happened. It's like, oh, remember that?
That was bizarre.
It was.
And yeah, so what's stopping that from happening? And like you said, do we have border?
Do we?
We've got to have some. Well, airport's privatized, right?
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say you have security out the airport, and that's privatized.
Yeah. Like TSA and everybody. Yes,
Yeah.
they're still working. But are there air marshals going up right now?
Let's go take over a plane.
No.
Let's go see if we can. Oh,
No.
bad idea. And I guess if you have a federal prison, you got to have those workers there.
Oh, what's happening there?
Yeah, I mean,
Raid 2.
Raid 3.
Huntsville.
Yeah, so you got to have that
Damn.
still working. Yeah, what all does that affect?
Yeah. I don't know, but that's kind of actually a thought provoking, and oh shit, that's actually worse than it really seems like.
A guy I work with, he was talking about how one time the government shut down while he was in boot camp. He had just got out to Pendleton, and he was a week from finishing boot camp, and they had a shutdown and sent everybody home. And when he came back, he had to
go
start
all
boot
over?
camp over.
Oh, fuck that.
And I was like, oh, that sucks.
No, out.
He's like, I was 1 week out, we had to start all over, but it was they took it easy on him. So easy, quote unquote. but
Right.
yeah. As easy as boot camp can be.
Right.
On New Year's Eve, we've been talking about space stuff lately. And if you've been watching this New Horizons Flyby Ultimate Thule. Or Tool.
I didn't get to see it. Obviously I read the show notes and read the article and stuff, but what was it that it passed the planet formerly known as Pluto in 2015?
Yes.
Okay.
And this is now the furthest a man-made object has ever been from Earth.
Okay.
And it flew by this because this is the mysterious, could be our 10th planet or our 9th if Pluto is still kicked out.
But that's the thing is that
Pluto's still a planet, right?
Pluto hasn't made its full orbit around since they've been keeping the track, and that's why they kicked it out, because it's not going fast enough around the sun. Long and short of it.
Yeah. That's stupid.
But they can't add a new planet that's further out. They don't know how long it's been going around.
And it's only 15 miles across or 10 miles across. Yeah. That's a giant rock.
No,
there's asteroids bigger than that are floating around.
You're going to have a lot of people uprising to get Pluto back into the 9.
Pluto has to be in the 9.
I was raised that way.
I was too.
It's obviously. But, I mean, going to Kennedy and Pluto has been scrubbed.
Yeah. It was kind of weird, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, there was no marks of Pluto anywhere at Kennedy Space Center.
There's not.
It stopped at Uranus. Well, supposedly the New Horizon flew by on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, flew by Ultima Thule, and it was supposed to take a bunch of pictures, which it did. It sent a bunch of low-res pictures back, and over the next few months, it's supposed to send high-res pictures back.
Mm-hmm. Because it takes it's the equivalent of 6 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. It flew within 2,200 miles of it, and yeah, it said it would in March you'll get the first high-res image.
Yeah,
it's a 15-watt transmitter that's shooting that data back.
And what would that be comparable to those days?
Light bulbs up there are 40 watts each.
So like a night light bulb, which is like 5. So like 3 of those.
And that is transmitting
back here.
Millions. Are we at billions yet? Is that thing a billion miles away? But millions of miles back to Earth.
Yes.
And that's why it takes forever. Because when it passed Pluto and it took all those badass, you started seeing those high-res images. It said it took
the
those
glow up
3 or 4 months
Yep.
for those to get back. That's insane. 15 watts.
Maybe. I mean, it's only been 13 years since it's been.
Our iPhones are more powerful than the space shuttle. You know that, right? Like that's a big thing they tell you at Kennedy.
Yeah.
Is that your iPhone is more powerful and has more processing power than a gigantic fucking spaceship that took 7 people into space every time it launched.
Science.
And then you go and you sit in the capsules that that actually shot people to the moon, and you're like, there's 6 switches. You know, there are 6 switches in this capsule.
And they made monkeys do it before us.
Yes. And this damn thing took people to the moon. Why is it taking so long? Why can't we?
I'm saying teleportation. Have we already started making the plans for Mars?
Why aren't we back at the moon yet? Why don't we go hang out on the moon? Is it because Israel has taken it over and there are moon bases?
There are moon bases.
There are, aren't there?
There are.
And what's that movie? The Dark Side of.
No, that's Pink Floyd album.
That's the album, but it talks about it's on the dark side of the moon is where the Nazis set up their massive base, and they've been there since the 40s, and they don't understand what's going on Earth, but they've been amassing the spaceships.
We choose to go to space.
I forgot what that movie was, but
Moon Nazis.
Yeah.
That's it.
Is it Moon Nazis?
It's. Well, Moon Nazi movie is like immediately a pop-up Iron Sky from 2012. That's one of them, but it's not. I know the one you're talking about.
But we have all this stuff, and now, what's his name?
Yeah, it is Iron Sky.
Iron Sky, that's it.
Is.
Yeah, Iron Sky. And a black astronaut lands there, and they freak out. They total go into full panic mode.
Mm-hmm.
The movie's crazy.
Oh, distributed by Walt Disney Studios.
Is it really?
Motion Pictures Finland.
Good grief.
They at least have their thumbprint on it. Moon Nazis.
God dang it.
I feel like there was something else that had moon Nazis in it.
I don't remember. What else had moon Nazis in it?
No, what are you saying?
There
X-Wings
was-
and Star Destroyers?
Elon Musk is building that ship too. Have you seen that? He tweeted a picture the other day of the one he's building down in South Texas.
And McGregor that Stubbs brought up.
Yeah, it's the heavy what's he call it? It's the heavy lift rocket,
Mhm.
and it's going to be 200 feet tall when they're done, and 30 feet wide. And he posted a picture of the capsule, and it's gigantic, and it's what's supposed to push people to Mars, and it's supposed to have the ability to bring them back home. And
I know that he's been doing that boring project.
yeah,
in
under
LA.
LA.
It just sounds like a bad idea.
Well, have you heard his
The loop.
meaning behind it? Is like the way he came up with it was he had to have been stoned. First off,
Did he come up with this directly after the Joe Rogan show?
no, this was he talked about it on the Joe Rogan show. That's where I heard about it. Was he was like, traffic is on a plane. These roads are all on a plane. They're on a flat surface, but time's a flat circle. No, he didn't say that, but it'd been awesome if he did. But he's like, he had to start thinking 3-dimensionally of how they could travel and how he could move vehicles down. And he's like, if you move in a 3-dimensional aspect, you can then build a tunnel network system. And as he's talking about all this, I was like, so you've been to New York City. Neat. Neat, because that's exactly how New York City works with the subways.
Right.
Wow. You're building...
You're making a subway for an elevator to put a car down there, to put him on a little track
sled.
and shoot him for like
Yeah.
3 minutes through this tunnel, right? And then I saw the thing that said that it's safer to be underground during an earthquake, just like it's okay to be out in the ocean or underwater during a hurricane. It's like,
That doesn't work with my brain.
no, you're gonna crack and fall into the magma down in the
So
center of the earth.
if I'm in a cavern, let's say I'm at Carlsbad Caverns,
Mhm.
and an earthquake happens, I'm safer in there.
I would say not, because stalactites and stalagmites
Shit will fall and
all of,
stab you in the head.
and die.
Yeah.
Immediate death. You would pray for immediate death
And if I'm in a hurricane, like how deep in the water are you supposed to be?
before you get like hurled against something in a wave.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's I try to get other people's logic when they use those kind of analogies, but I just don't think that being underground is a smart idea, especially whenever you're under LA, when you know that right along that San Andreas.
Well,
I'm still waiting for LA to just break off and go be an island. I mean,
learn to swim. Learn to swim. Learn to swim.
that was already supposed to happen at least by 98 if I learned anything from Snake Plissken.
Or Tool. Either way, a meteor was supposed to fall from the sky.
Some say we'll see heaven soon. I certainly hope we will.
They do have a subway system in LA, and I have been on it.
What is it like?
It's nice.
Is it anything like New York's?
No.
Is it anything like London's?
No.
There you go.
But it was very, like, as you're riding on it, you're going, I'm in LA.
And on a subway.
And I'm on a subway on the San Andreas Fault. And this creeps me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just not a smart idea, Mr. Musk.
But I guess if that theory holds true, if it can be proven, it creeps me out.
I'm not going to ride on it. It took a minute to get me convinced to go on the monorail at Epcot when I was a kid.
Seriously?
Yeah.
They've only had one accident on there.
It's one too many.
And it was when a monorail was coming into the station and the other one hadn't left yet, and they nose to nose. You ever ridden in the front of it? It's fun.
If I don't remember, I mean, obviously I was like 8 or 9 when we went. So I would obviously go and do it again. We didn't get a chance to do that this time. We were just doing the Food and Wine Festival.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But we did all the other fun stuff. That's going to happen in 2019. We're going to travel and go do more Florida. We already decided it.
Are you going to drive? If you do, get gas in Louisiana.
Locket of
And
races.
make sure you make it all the way through Mississippi and Alabama through that locket of
Hold-
racism.
Hold your breath. Roll your windows up.
Yep.
Lock the doors.
Once you see
Here comes the Mississippi.
once you see the billboards for the USS Alabama, you're doing good. And then when you see the tunnel in
You made it.
Mobile, you're safe. You've made it. You're there.
Florida. Who knew that Florida would be an upgrade?
You know,
Alabama.
my next trip to Disney World is going to be when Star Wars
Star Wars
opens.
open. I think that we've talked. I mean, of course, I wouldn't mind going and doing Halloween Horror Nights. Like we had a good time going and doing that.
The beautiful young lady I just shot on Friday, former Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, is now a Disney princess. Yeah.
There are certain requirements for you to be able to be a princess. So
And she does it on the cruise lines, and she's going to Paris.
mhm.
They want her over there. And so we were talking about all that during the photo shoot. And she was talking about how she's played Star Wars characters too
Mhm.
on the cruise during Star Wars week. She played Sabine, if you people know who that is, and Ray.
Mhm.
And she loves it. She's having a blast with it. But we were talking about the new Star Wars land once it opens, and that hotel is booked for like 7 years out.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
But it's not that big. There's not that many rooms, but all the stuff they're going to do for it, you can't have that many rooms and pull that off.
Well, and just being able to commit to the property.
Mm-hmm.
That's all about the experience. I'm not the one to get worked up and talk about it much like Nick is, but
Well, we start talking about Disney World, and he pops up in the chat room here.
hey, babe. Yeah, see, he's already down to do Halloween Horror Nights. That's when you're gonna have to have him on. And maybe that's what I should have done. I should have came up and been like, Nick, go drink that bullet.
Oh, yeah.
He loved that.
Have you noticed that I haven't drinking anything tonight?
I know. What do you?
I'm going to try to stay clean until I go to NAM.
Okay.
And that's through my birthday,
Okay. And when's your birthday?
the 17th of this month. Then we play a show on the 19th. Quick plug.
Mm-hmm.
Mass.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have everybody in front of me because it just changed up a little bit. But I'll get that in front of me.
You got the young lady added to the lineup.
Yeah. I'm going blank right now because I'm sitting here thinking about
Not
Disney
drinking
World.
and
not drinking in Disney World
Yeah.
and Star Wars. You got to have your priorities.
I mean, it's all about multitasking.
I'm not good at multitasking.
I try to be.
Especially when I'm not drinking. When I'm not allowed to drink. Well, I'm allowed to drink. I'm not allowing myself to drink.
It'll be 2 years in April for me, and that's just by choice.
Lou Charles,
yeah.
The Spectacle, Big Heaven, Danielle Grubb, and who? Alsace. She's put it all in there.
I see that.
Yeah.
Way to go, Susie.
Susie just shot it out there. It's like she's promoting the show or something, like she had something to do with putting this together. She knew it all.
That should be a money sign.
It should be. Saturday, January 19th at Mass. Terrible plug, but we'll have it on everything.
When was the last
Coming
time the Spectacle played Fort Worth?
5 years ago.
Was it at Lola's?
Not really. It
Or
was
Grotto?
3 years ago.
Was it for one of the Fuzzed Out festivals?
I don't think it's fuzzed out. I know it was. It was at Lola's. It was way before I was in the band. But I think they said it was 3 or 4 years ago. So this will be the first time back to Fort Worth. They've been wanting to play Fort Worth for a while, but things are just weird.
Things are weird.
Things are strange in Fort Worth right now.
Absolutely.
There's some afoot, and I don't know what it is.
I haven't figured it out either. You'd think that I would know considering what my job is.
Like, I love the shows. I love these shows that they're putting together. Like, this is one of Susie and Jamal's shows
Mhm.
they're putting together, and I love it. I love that.
I really like the eclectic.
I love it too.
I really enjoy that. There's a little bit for everybody, and people getting to see acts that they've probably never seen before.
Yeah,
And I think that Mass is a perfect place for that.
it is. And since Mass is open, I've been to Lola's like a handful of times. It's very strange.
It is.
And since Tin Panthers open, the same thing. You've got options, but then the lineups at both are weird and fun.
Yeah. Like, The hard thing with Lola's, and this is just me personally, and I could probably go off the record and maybe not say this, but it's off West 7th. I think that kind of has something to do with it. There's some great things that happen. The rummage sale is awesome. And I've seen some big shows and some big crowds, like the Metalachi show. I know that place was packed to the gills. But I don't know. I see myself going to the near south to go watch a show.
Yeah. I'm there with you. I would say that once the White Settlement Road stuff is done,
Mm-hmm.
and
Tin Panther will be more accessible that way.
it will be, and the jump if you want to go from Tin Panther to Lola's,
Yep.
will be a lot easier
Once White Settlement's done.
instead of having to drive up Henderson and all the way around and the 7th Street Bridge.
Well, and if you're familiar with it, cutting back there behind like where Omaha's and
Uh-huh.
Mission and all that to cross over. But until White Settlement's done, you can't do that through all
can't.
those back stuff.
Nope.
And it sucks that it's not accessible. I know a lot more people would probably go there, but there's just not being able to get to it. And then if you live on another part of town and you've been imbibing, you really don't want to cut through downtown.
No, you don't. And I think what would be great, and this is for an entrepreneur that has money, I think there should be a venue put in the Foundry. I think there should be right around there, right around docks or something, and that way you have a nice little trail of venues that you can just run through. That once White Settlement is done, you can go from Lola's into the Foundry, and then up White Settlement to the traffic circle to
Like if
Tin
there was
Panther.
something between, like proper between Omaha's and the Tin Panther, there has to be something
Yeah.
available in there.
which I know that starts getting shifty because that's where they're going to dig the river out. Whenever they decide to do it, because the river's going to flow right through there and all those buildings, and like that's why a lot of those warehouses are gone,
Yeah,
because they're about to be the bottom of a river.
What are they going to keep for the Riverwalk?
Well, they need venues for Riverwalk.
They do, but if
It's gonna be douchebags. It's gonna be Toby Keith's barbecue, and then what all is over here at Texas Live? Let's attack Troy Aikman's douchebag bar
Pudge,
and Pudge, and yeah,
Guy Fieri,
we're gonna host local bands, and we're gonna make sure local bands are playing here all the time. I have yet to see anybody. The Toadies. That's not a local band.
no, I
have yet to see. I haven't seen a mean motor scooter show over there yet. I haven't seen a Methinks show there.
was about to say I'd really like to see a Methinks show over at Texas Live.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, what? That's a lot of smoke.
That's a lot of smoke. But yeah, you don't. It's going to be the same bullshit. It's the lava cantinas of the world are going to be what move up along the Riverwalk once they get that Riverwalk built. And hopefully by the time it's done, I don't give a shit about local music anymore.
Yeah. It's like
And,
I want to be
I'm gonna win a
80% gone in this year, and
I'll be in a Winnebago driving around the
You
U.S.
cooking? You
Yeah.
cooking?
Oh, yeah, I'll be cooking. Driving through Albuquerque cooking. No, I'll be in a Winnebago driving around
the national
US,
parks.
the national parks, cleaning them up.
Oh man, that was an Onion article that made it for this year. It's like, old retired couple realize how easy it is to travel in an RV and murder people.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Onion.
It's not bad. That's really not bad.
I'm just saying, my parents have an RV.
I mean, if you can,
They don't hop in it and go on a murder spree or anything. They could.
man, I loved
I love my last murder spree.
the last time I went and killed a bunch of people. It was so much fun. No, my grandparents always had a motorhome. That's what we took to Disney World because we stayed at Fort Wilderness, so it was great. Man, I
Some
loved
KOAs.
on the way there, yeah.
Mhm.
And you'd stop in Tampa at Busch Gardens and stay at their little campground across the street from Busch Gardens.
You said Tampa.
Oh, I know. Yeah, sorry, Tampa. So you're not a Buccaneers fan, huh?
We had a good time in Tampa, except that airport.
But
Yeah, just being
I
able to
love
travel
the
and
motorhome life, and it's weird. I want a motorhome. They're
I
expensive
want
as
to.
shit.
I want to retire by the time I'm 40. So I don't. I just need to get a handful of money. I already have access to all these toys. It's just
I want a motorhome.
I don't know. Maybe entrapment.
You know what I want a motorhome for?
What?
Remember that movie Judgment Night? I want to get all my friends and we just go drive around and party.
Yeah.
And then we get stopped by the mob or we get in a wreck or something. And then it turns into a gunfight with.
It turns into like a purge situation.
Yes.
Whoa.
We're running from, what's his name? The ref. We're running from him and he wants to kill us. And Judgment Night was great.
Man.
How much are motorhomes? I want a motorhome and I want a houseboat. Those are the two things I want.
That's very Cape Fear of you.
Well, I was just in Savannah where they filmed most of it.
Exactly.
I want a houseboat, a motorhome, and I want to go to high school plays and hit on young girls.
Smoke cigars.
Smoke cigars and laugh in movie theaters. Oh, I don't know.
What's De Niro done lately?
I've been watching. He's doing a play now, right?
Is he?
He's doing that A Bronx Story. I think he's been producing that because it's coming to Dallas next week. I believe that's what it was, or East Side Story, or Bronx Side Story, or something like that.
A Bronx Tale.
A Bronx Tale. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So who's with me? Let's go get a motorhome.
I tried to talk Nick into getting a motorhome when we first started dating. I was like, let me get a bus. Let me convert it. Because I was just so tired. I was getting evicted. And I was like, I'm just done with Fort Worth. I just want to just scoot on.
Be a gypsy over there on White Settlement Road.
No. No. Can we pave your driveway? I'm sorry. They come in and
I
they
know they
cause a
got jacked
ruckus.
about by a group of them one day.
God. I saw one of their most recent scams is they have a woman with a baby and someone goes in they go in through the house and they're letting the homeowner look at something on the fence and the woman with the baby goes in and takes all the shit. That happened just recently in Fairmount.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what a
Those
scam.
are fucking gypsies.
Fucking gypsies.
The fucking pikeys.
I was out there in my work truck one day working, and I had a little window, and two of them stood. One of them stood at the front of the truck, and one of them stood at the back of the truck and knocked on the back of the door. And I get out. Usually when someone does that, I'll open the door and see who it is, and then I'll climb out, and I'll talk to them. And I saw that, like, one was at my front bumper, one was at my back bumper, and then the other person knocked. And I was right there off of White Settlement Road and right there by the base almost.
It's kind of by Clifford.
Yeah. And they were looking at my truck to see what they'd get because it's got a generator on it. It's got all sorts of stuff on it. I was like, can I help you? Oh, no, we didn't know if anybody was in there. I was like, why wouldn't anybody be in here? Can't you see I'm working? Because I knew exactly what they were up to. I was like, why are you guys standing around my truck like this? Y'all taking up position? I just called them straight out. I said, y'all fixing to jack me or what? I said, if any of y'all come at me, I'm going to stab you. So which one wants to die first? Oh, no. We were just seeing what was going on. I was like, fuck y'all. I know what y'all are up to.
Fucking gypsies.
Get in your car and leave. And they drove off. But yeah, I was like, I'm about to get fucking jacked right here. I had a guy climb in the front of my truck once over there. And I think he was a gypsy too. Left the door unlocked. That was stupid of me, and I was in the back. And he got in the driver's seat, and I got a little cubby hole where I can climb through into the cab. It's a big box truck. And I just kind of leaned forward and had my knife out, and I said, can I help you with something? And the guy was like, well, I didn't know anybody was in here. I was just coming in here to cool off. I said, no, you weren't. It was middle of summer. I said, no, you weren't. Get out, or I'll stab you right now in the neck. And he got out. It's like, damn gypsies over there. They hit that Walmart like crazy.
Oh, I believe it.
That Walmart.
You can't even go into that QT right there off Clifford.
Yeah, that one's pretty
They hang out
crazy.
there too.
Yeah, they do hang out there. It's a weird spot where I meet my mom to pick up my son sometimes.
Fucking
She's watching
gypsies.
fucking gypsies. God damn it.
Good.
Cool. So back to a motorhome.
Motorhome. Yeah, like either a motorhome or a bus, or like Susie says here, I've got a camper trailer
And a bus.
and a bus. See, I don't think that I could always go 100% always in the small. Like if I'm gonna like set up and be able to go put up a hammock or go camp, like if I'm gonna travel, then I want to be able to get out from my little situation and go hike and go backpack and go camp somewhere else. But
You want to be
still
able to,
Yeah.
detach.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing is like the only bad thing about a motorhome is if you get somewhere, it's nice to have a vehicle. So you're always towing a vehicle around.
Mhm. That you got to be real skilled on some of that too, especially whenever you go up and you get in those switchbacks on some of those
Yeah.
national forests.
Forest, yeah.
Yeah.
And that kind of sucks. So maybe not a motorhome.
Like a fifth wheel. Fifth wheels, it's still you're trailering. Like you get,
Yeah.
like I said, you get a short bus and you
But then if you want to,
transfer.
break away from
Yeah.
camp, you know, I need to run to town and get some stuff from Walmart
It's fucking teleportation.
because I'm a gypsy. Electric scooter, lime scooter, a lime bike.
Mhm.
Oh, now we're talking
You'd
electric
have
bike.
to.
Charge
You'd have
it.
to like jailbreak it though, but you'd have it in. You'd have a charge
No,
station.
There are so many websites that show you how to take one of those scooters and own it
Aw.
because they're like a $280 scooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can pick one up in Dallas, and I nearly threw one in the back of my truck when I was out
This is
shooting
mine
last
now.
week. All you gotta do is drill one hole in it, and it's yours.
It's like, oh,
You plug it in the wall, and it's yours.
you know that nobody has like little GPS little dings of, well, we lost another scooter today. Like we lost another red dot today, sir.
Well, it cost them like $35, I
If
think, a
that.
scooter or something
If
like
that. How many
So-
of those lime bikes did they throw into the landfill?
Oh, that was a
Mhm.
mountain of them. It
Mhm.
was like, wasn't it 6,000? There were 6,000 bikes over there.
I saw the pictures from the Dallas one, and then people would still show the pictures from like either in China or
Well,
Japan.
there were 50,000 of them. The
Yes.
giant mountain,
Yes.
with the little bulldozer that was tiny below it, and a mountain of bikes.
I think there was like a dart rail car next to it just to show where it really was.
That's a band name, Pike Mountain.
Or dart rail car.
A Dart rail car. Tex Rail. Let's keep it
Tex
local.
rail.
Come on.
Yeah.
Fort Worth band.
I wonder what the hours of that are running. My good friend Sarah is flying to Virginia.
Well, it's late.
Like how early though? Like if you have a flight that's going out at 6 o'clock in the
4
morning,
a.m.
that early,
It is
it's
running
going that early.
it's only down for like 3 hours.
Huh.
It goes till like, I think it said 1:15, and then it starts back up at 4 a.m.
Hmm.
And they have 4 trains, I think is what they said
I'll
on
do
the
some.
article I read.
I'll research it because it's
Maybe we
Mhm.
should do a podcast one night on the
take
train,
and
we
take the little.
we just go back and forth because there's a station right here.
Mm-hmm.
We take the little recorder, we go out to the airport, then we come
Mhm.
back, we go to downtown, and then we come back.
I'm for it.
I'm for it too.
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
we're gonna do it.
Gonna pull up a schedule and make sure that's.
Who'd
all.
be a fun guest? Hey, we're gonna do something fun tonight. Meet us at the train station. We're gonna do a show on a train.
Yeah, wear good shoes, real sturdy shoes, and something that you don't have to worry about getting
Yeah.
ripped. Just make them think that we're gonna go jump a train.
Yeah.
There you go. Whenever we got stopped at those crossing gates the other day, there was some dude that had a contractor bag full of cans, and he eyeballed it. He put his can bag up on in between those two train cars, and he even like jumped up.
Was gone.
No, he pulled his can bag back off and went back down north side. He didn't
Oh.
cross it. It was like, you gonna jump on this train, bro? You gonna cross it? What's going on here?
And he just didn't do it.
He didn't do it.
I
I watched
thought you were
it
gonna say he
happen.
was gonna hop on. And
I
be
don't know.
gone.
That's what I thought too. Like I was like, oh my gosh, that was some of the entertainment within that 25 minutes of having to sit there at that. We didn't have to sit there. We just sat there.
Well, if we're gonna offend the gypsies, let's offend the hobos.
Ugh.
Has the hobo life ever appealed to you?
I don't think so.
I like the hobo signs. That always interests me.
Like hobo art.
Well, you see the spray paints and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, whenever I saw that guy walking up to it, I thought he was gonna hop on that rail. But I worked downtown. I worked at the convention center for X amount of years, so the homeless life has never appealed to me. Not being that close to East Lancaster,
I guess you are considered homeless, right?
I mean, if you had to live a vagrant life, if you didn't have a home base, I mean, if you do have that travel trailer, you have a home, so you wouldn't be homeless.
Yeah, you're not homeless there.
And you have to be doing something to be able to fund your gas. You know, if you're going to be traveling, you gotta have a nice little nest egg. But no, I've never been tempted to go sleep on the streets or in cardboards.
Especially on a night like tonight.
No, fuck no. No, even somebody's gonna come pray, hand me a sandwich, and give me a half blanket. Nope, that's not blowing my hair back at all.
Well, they do have shelters now that cram a bunch of people in there.
Do you think that I want to go deal with people that live on the street? I mean, think about this. If I were homeless and I didn't have health insurance and I didn't have my daily medication, then I'd be an off-kilter individual. I would be one of those weird people that would be on the streets. You wouldn't want to fuck with me at a shelter. By the way, did I leave my knife here the last show?
Yes, it's underneath there. Why you're looking at me like that?
But
Yes,
no.
there's a knife over
No.
there.
Like that's going to do damage. No, and that's one thing that kind of bothers me too is I don't give to panhandlers.
I don't because
Mm-mm.
there's too many people that have abused it.
Mhm.
And then when I was in my teens, the city of Dallas fucked that all over
Mm-hmm.
when they had undercover cops pretending to be panhandlers
Mm-hmm.
or the guys selling flowers on the corner. And what they were doing was watching if there was underage drinking or someone drinking and driving or
Mm-hmm.
someone doing something, driving without a seatbelt or whatever, and they would radio to cops sitting around and pull people over.
Yeah.
But there's too many stories of these guys walking around asking for money, and then at the end of the day, they end up, jumping in a
car
In a
and
car,
going to their
Mercedes.
house and yeah.
yeah.
It's
Drive
like how do
off.
you look that scrubby all day and go stand on the side of the street?
This ain't good. My boss is calling me.
I was about to say what's happening.
Yeah, this ain't good. Yeah, we were talking about this beforehand. Would you like to be a feral cat right now? Because on nights like tonight, you start feeling bad about animals that are outside, and
We have a 12-year-old feral at our office. And she used to be at the other office. And she's kind of taken to me. It's funny. Like, apparently it took like 3 years before our production manager could even have her, like, come up. I was only there 6 months, and she's doing the leg rub and wow. Like, oh, I guess I got to feed you. Because you know how...
does she show you her butt?
She does.
Okay, then that means
Yeah.
she likes you.
I went to Winco the other day, and I looked at dog toys, and then I stopped and got cat food. I don't have a cat. I take care of the office cat because our production manager lives in Arlington, and I didn't see him coming out here to take care of the cat.
To feed the cat, yeah.
Yeah. So I pulled up the other day, and she's not expecting it. Normally, whenever she knows that we're in the office, she'll go and
Yeah.
hang by the wall and park and walking across. Okay, I'll be right up. Didn't see her. Got out of my car, had the bag of food, opened up the metal, shook the bag, went foot, and she just appeared out of nowhere. And she has like a broken, it's like this permanently. Like
Yeah.
for the viewers at home, they call it a floofing. But she like has a broken paw. But she's 12 years old. And I'm guessing that she stays warm. She won't let anybody catch her. She's got food.
Have you built her a little house or anything?
No. Like she has a warm spot over there in the Monticello neighborhood.
Yeah.
She has a warm spot. I see so many feral cats in the Fairmount neighborhood. I mean, obviously the Fairmount
There
Ferals.
are a lot.
The Fairmount Ferals. I mean, you've got the
That's
good
a good band
neighbors.
name,
Yeah, it's a good softball team too.
Yeah, that is a good softball team.
But there are a lot of feral cats, and while I think, man, it's cold, and I really hate the fact that there are people that have dogs that leave them out in the backyard when it's stuff like this too. Or the people that go out of town and leave their pets, and it's like, you don't know what the weather's going to do. You don't deserve to have
I used
that
to have
pet.
2 huskies.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I
they'd be okay with this.
I wouldn't leave them in the backyard.
No.
It was cold.
No, they would
But
be
yes.
they would be begging to go outside, but
Yeah,
You're still not
Yeah,
gonna
the
do it
house
to
was
them.
way too hot for them.
Exactly.
And then you go outside and be like,
I
"Oh,
just-
I'm sorry."
so yeah, so back to the homelessness, the homeless people with pets, that it just makes me mad. It doesn't pull my heartstrings or anything. It just makes me so mad. It's like, are they vaccinated? Do you have food for them? Because I'm gonna go and provide for your dog
Yeah,
instead of giving you cash for booze or drugs or whatever you're gonna do. I'll get your dog like some moist and meaty. There's some kibbles and bits, some gravy train.
yeah. And there's been several times, even that 7-Eleven that's at Allen and Hemp Hill. I got in a fight with a homeless guy
Well,
there.
think about that.
because
You're
I
right there
gave-
by JPS.
Yeah, you're right there by that is true.
And
But a
the
guy
mental health resource is just catty corner to
That is-
that
that's true,
7-Eleven
too.
as well.
with the little heart tree and the leaves blown away. I always like that logo. But I was there one day and a guy was sitting out there and you got any money, man? I'm hungry. No, I don't have any money, but I have a debit card and I'm going to go in here and get me something. And got the dude a Lunchable.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked back out and I handed him the Lunchable and he stood up and goes, "Who do you think I am? I don't need this." And he threw it down and then he swung at me.
Mm-hmm.
And
You're
I was
like,
like,
you said
"What
you
the
were
hell?"
hungry, asshole.
Then I pushed him back. When he
Mhm.
swung at me, I pushed him back and I said, "You were hungry." And a cop was standing there and walked over and was like, "I'll take care of this for you." But I was like, "What the hell?" But that's happened like
That's why I just
There's another dude that used to live on Camp Bowie, up and down Camp Bowie. He used to sleep underneath the bridge at I-30 in Camp Bowie. I'd always see him up there. He had a beehive of hair.
Mm-hmm.
He came from a family that lived in Westover,
That doesn't surprise me.
and he turned his back. Like he sat
He
down.
was obviously a trust funder.
He was, and he
Mhm.
turned his back on his family because he's like, "I don't need all this money. I don't want to have anything to do with their money. I want to live my own life." And
Underneath a bridge.
he walked Camp Bowie, and everybody knew who he was.
Mm-hmm.
And he was an interesting cat,
Mm-hmm.
and he scared the hell out of me a couple times working in an alley or something, and he'd be digging through a dumpster and
Hey, what?
making a bunch. You'd be like, "What the hell?" And he'd come out. But
Yeah, I worked at
he
Ginger
was-
Man for a little bit. So yeah.
yeah, you probably saw him.
Yep.
I can't remember the guy's name, but once it took a little while of seeing him here and there, and he got to know me, and when I worked over there all the time, and he was like, he told me the story, and I was like, "What, really?" I was like, "And this is the way you choose
Like
to
how much
live,
is
huh?"
how much is this true though, sir?
That is another thing.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
never know; it could be.
that's why
But
I
he never
don't-
wanted money. He never wanted money from anybody.
I just don't see how that life could appeal.
Just live in the street
No.
if you want to.
No,
I don't think anybody wants to. Well, except for him, but I would say maybe 0.5% actually want to be homeless.
True. I mean, if you're in a situation to where you're just between having a roof over your head and you have to sleep in your car for a little bit, I can understand that.
Or you're a divorced wife or a female that's coming out of a bad
Abuse,
relationship,
yeah.
an abusive relationship or whatever, and you and your kids are now don't have anywhere to go,
Right.
so you end up in a car.
But there's resources for that kind of stuff.
There are,
And that's why
but then a lot of that, then a pride thing comes in.
I know.
And a lot of people are prideful and say, "Well, I'm not a homeless person, or I don't need that. I'm not from that. I can
Right.
get back on my feet."
This isn't they don't want to accept charity
Yeah.
or accept the fact that you are in a situation and you just please take my help. I'm not giving you
Yeah.
unsolicited advice. I'm just giving this to you. Please take this to make your situation better. Because if you have kids or if you have a pet and you're in a down situation and you have something that you're responsible for and you're taking care of, take care of them. You got to take care of yourself, but also take care of your burden because you chose that burden.
Now, in the springtime and summertime, over there off Lancaster, the homeless people have a lot of fun. It gets a little wild. I can't believe Wild Acres over there and Trinity Distilling. I'm always scared going over there to drink.
Well, think about how it was over there at RAR for the longest time.
Yeah, that's true.
They've
Well, you've got
well,
the church.
they
The
cut
church is right there,
right there at
and
Broadway,
they give everything away. Yeah, or they give their meals away every morning.
and they shut down one of the houses, just one of the crash houses, just right there off of like Dashwood and
Yeah.
Bryan, kind of behind Pouring Glory. Like
Yeah.
there's those assisted living kind of apartments, and then there was a couple of like just crash houses. And I saw they tore down one of the drug flop houses that used to be Catty Corner right there on Dashwood and Bryan, because I saw all kinds of shit. I'd see tricks walking off. And that's like less than 500 yards from Mass.
Yeah.
And it's what is now Four Sisters. Like,
Yeah, right behind Four Sisters where
Yeah.
those houses were. Yep.
that's Fort Worth. It's up and coming.
Well, and then you go to Northside. It's like the other night after we left Mass.
Did you see the thing about how they advised the residents to keep their window, everybody in Saginaw and Upper North Side, to keep their windows because one of the, I don't know if it was one of the recycling places or if it was just a scrap pile. Something caught on fire. And it was a bunch of like plastic and metal and a whole bunch of shit just in one of those, like, because it is just a lot of junkyards up there in the north.
Is.
And they were telling people
Across
up
from
in,
Meacham.
yeah, they were telling people that they need to keep their windows closed and don't breathe outside over there in Saginaw
about
and
that.
down by Meacham.
I
Sometime
didn't
last
hear
week.
about that.
And then, last night when we were coming home, right there at Ridgely and Ridgemar, there's all those apartments right there by the Valero.
Uh-huh.
Like it was cloudy and everything, but those apartments were on fire. Like it was just like you could see, because it was foggy, but you could see the flames like from the fog, and then it's just all this smoke.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't, obviously we don't watch any of the news or anything, but it was fucked up.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm guessing someone maybe died on New Year's Day. One of those situations.
Damn.
Yeah.
When we were driving up after Mass, to get to my office, I drove up Main through the stockyards and then up that way.
Mhm.
And it was already cold, but Jennifer was with me, and she never goes up that way. She's never over there. But I drive Main just about every day,
Mhm.
in and out of downtown. And as we were going by, she's like, "It's pretty sketchy up here." I was like, "Yeah, once you get north of Stockyards." I mean, there's some areas south of Stockyards that are sketchy, but once you get north of the Stockyards before Meacham, it gets real sketchy. And I was like, "That's an hourly motel, and that's an hourly motel, and we should be seeing hookers, but it may be a little too early or too late. I don't know." And all those weird. I've always wanted to do it, and I know I would die. I know. I wanted to do it for a podcast, but I know we would be killed.
Oh, if we just walked around the streets up there?
No, if we bar hopped all the way down Main, because there's
Oh,
22
no.
bars from, I believe it's from the Stockyards to 820. There
We
are
would-
22 bars.
We would be stabbed, at least on Azle Avenue. Proper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you just stay on Main, there's
Well,
22 different bars
yeah.
up Main.
They remember where Billy Miners had moved to? I'm pretty sure that's a biker bar now. Like, straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I've got enough 13s, and we're so white that we would get killed
Yeah.
immediately. And I'm the sober one.
Yeah. But there's
And
like,
if we had Matt with us, we would get so killed.
oh man,
We would get murdered like 3 times over.
there's, I thought it would be funny.
Instant
But
death
Instant death.
in Northside. Ooh,
Just
that's
go-
a good. That's a good.
That's a good album.
That is a good.
That's an album title. Instant Death in Northside. Huh. We'll keep that in mind too.
Okay.
It's got to be black metal, right? And it's spelled with sticks.
We'll fit it in. Yeah. Pile of twigs or
A
metal
pile of
font.
twigs, yes.
Pile of twigs font.
Yeah, that was that. I always thought that'd be a funny bit, is just doing that. But then during the day the bars look okay, but when you're at night, you're like, oh god, these places are rough.
Like, what did the door turn into? Is that a bar? Is that even open? Is that
It's
still
not
just?
open anymore. No, it's not open. But if you start past,
The
if you start
ghosts of
right
a
at the
abandoned
stockyards,
skinny jeans past.
if you start at Exchange,
Mm-hmm.
Or you can even start at 28th. Start at 28th.
Right where Cattleman's. No, 28th. So right there.
Right there where the Jack in the Box Whataburger, all that is.
A little bit north of the
El Pollo
Sonic.
Loco.
If we were starting on the right side, we'd hit Los Vaqueros.
Yeah, so if you go north from there,
Okay,
keep
heading
going north.
Yeah, like towards Meacham.
Towards Meacham, you've got the Scorpion Bar, Main Street Bar, the Main Place. Yeah, there's some crazy ass bars through there.
No.
And we just stop in for one.
How
drink
good is your
at
Espanol?
each bar. Not.
Not even Paquito.
No.
Oh. No.
It's enough to get me in trouble.
Exactly.
That's where it's at.
I learned plenty also by service industry and working in the kitchen, but I don't know enough that would not get us from not being murdered. It would probably speed up the murder. Just like a little Mississippi, Alabama locket of racism. We need to see if James Avery can probably make that happen for us.
There's another place. I had a. I don't want to talk about this in the show because I've got a good bit, and Matt acted like he really wanted to do it, so I'll tell you off the air.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a video side of our show that we want to get going, and it was going to be visiting places like those bars. But we weren't going to be smartasses about it. We weren't going to be funny. We weren't going to be.
There goes. You have to have some stuff signed, or we're going to blur everybody's names out. That's a lot of editing if we're going to do that.
It is. It's a lot of pixelation. But if you go in like in the middle of the day, hopefully there wouldn't be enough people there, and you could shoot the angles right. But I'll tell you about it. It's pretty genius if we can pull it off. But you're right. It's a lot of editing, a lot of work.
There's only so many ways. There's only so many ways I can use my pull.
And I'm gonna be like Louis C.K. in a subway,
Drano enema,
editing my TV show on a laptop because that's the way he used to edit his show.
We have to just go in as respectable people to these places and just fool them and do whatever. All a jackass.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll talk off air.
Okay. All right. So we have some emails, but I think I'm going to save them for when Matt gets back. Because one of them is addressed to him. Another one is boobies.
We can just wait until Matt's back for the breasts.
Yeah. And then
we're definitely going to make him have a blacklight camera or a blacklight search on his face. Because if the AIDS...
So on New Year's Eve, I busted this out. And this is for the YouTube viewers. It's a handheld blacklight. And we went around the room the other night seeing if anybody had cheetah face. And no one has cheetah face. There is no cheetah face. So we're all good. But if Matt shows up...
Look at it.
What? Oh, yeah. On delay.
That's awesome.
When Matt gets here, we'll have to see if he's got cheetah face. If his contract negotiations go through.
I hope that Brittany's okay. Because if he gave her the deathy sickness, high fever,
well, knowing
AIDS.
them, they fucked while they were sick. And you just don't do that. I mean, right? Normal
Do you think
humans.
he did it while he was wearing the socks that have her face on it?
Oh my gosh.
Your AIDS is inflicting my sense of humor, Stubbs. Come back.
Oh no.
So we have New Orleans, and now we'll have Mississippi and Alabama against us.
West Virginia.
Mountain Mama.
Luckily, West Virginia doesn't have the internet or know how to stream podcasts.
It'll be another
Listen to
6
podcasts.
months before they find out. It finally made it through the wire, Morse code style.
Yeah. And then I had something here. When you're constipated, wait, let's do this first because we kind of hit on it. These HBO rankings. Did you look through this list?
I looked through that, and it didn't surprise me, and it made me want to go back and watch some of that stuff.
So, I guess Uprocks went to Ranker, and
Just swiped everything.
Ranker swiped everything. They swiped everything from Ranker, and they ranked the best shows on HBO. And see if you agree. Number 1, The Wire.
Oh, wait a second. I'm seeing a different. Oh, it's not letting me. Okay, never mind. It was trying to show me Netflix. But yeah, The Wire. I'm still halfway through. I think we figured out that I'm on to season 4. We were talking about that, but I should
Okay.
probably restart. But yes,
There's 5 seasons. so
yeah,
you're
The
getting close.
Wire. The Wire is good television.
Number 2, The Sopranos.
Yeah,
I mean, The Sopranos was great.
The
I
Sopranos
watched
was
it all the
good.
time. Number 3, Game of Thrones.
Haven't gotten there yet.
So good, so good. Number 4, The Larry Sanders Show. Now, this was something I never watched. Randomly.
I remember it would be one of those things that if I was flipping through and I would watch it and just kind of be like, okay, I get the so whenever I saw it and saw that it was
So what I did was I
Gary
went back.
Shandling, it was just like, oh wait, this guy.
I went back and started watching it again because I didn't realize how many people were on it
Mm-hmm.
and how many people had bit roles or full
We're part of the writing
or
and-
started there. That's where they got their
Mhm.
start. So I went
Mhm.
back and started watching it. I was like, holy crap, it's amazing. And it's funny as hell and it holds up.
Mhm.
It holds up. Number 5, The Leftovers. Never watched it.
I think I watched an episode here or there, just hanging out with Che randomly. Like I'd stop in and just be like, "Hey," and he'd be watching it, and I watched a little bit of it, but it wasn't anything that really kind of captured my attention. But while reading this write up and seeing that it was from the guy that did Lost,
Yeah.
I'd go back and give it a try.
So I think Che was the one who told me I really needed to watch it.
Yeah.
That we got into a long conversation about it, and yeah, he told me you need to check it out, man. It's really good. 6 is 6 Feet Under.
I didn't watch much of that. I remember seeing ads for that in previous, like back whenever that was actually on, but it wasn't anything that I watched.
I watched the first few episodes, and it started. It was like Sopranos,
Mm-hmm.
and then the same night it'd be 6 Feet Under after the Sopranos. So when you got done watching Sopranos, this show would start,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't in the right mind frame to
Mm-hmm.
watch it, and I didn't get it at first.
The basis of it does kind of seem kind of cool because I wouldn't mind watching some behind the scenes stuff about mortuaries.
Yeah. Number 7, Veep.
Mhm.
Funny as shit.
Haven't watched it.
It's funny. It's pretty damn funny. Number 8 should be higher. It'd be way higher on my list.
It should be.
Curb Your Enthusiasm
Mhm.
is amazing.
It is. Did you see the? There was a documentary on Netflix where this guy got pegged for murder, but they were able to go back to a Dodgers game and they used footage from Curb Your Enthusiasm. Yeah,
When he was there
yeah, and
with
so
the
they were able,
hooker.
yeah,
Yeah. He took
Yeah.
the hooker to the Dodger game.
yeah,
I remember seeing or reading that whole story and everything. They could see the guy in the background, and that was
yeah.
his alibi.
That was his alibi from
How he got
from
out.
HBO Entertainment.
And then there was there's a bunch of cameos in Curb Your Enthusiasm
Mm-hmm.
that what was it? Matt Damon or no, Ben Affleck is in one scene with the pants.
Aren't they both?
They may both be in it, but they're just in the background as bit character. Like the Ben Affleck was driving down the street and saw him shooting and saw Larry David. It was like, "What are y'all doing?" And Larry's told him, it's the bit with the pants where he wears the pants out at the mall and the
Mm-hmm.
sensor goes off. And Ben Affleck was like, "Well, I want to be in this." He's like, "All right, just walk out with everybody else." So when they're exiting the mall, there's Ben Affleck leaving the mall. And you're like, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
And then Trent Reznor was in the last season as a mime in the street, a silver painted mime.
Is it one of those things that it's like, if you want to be part of our show, but you have to go by our conditions? It's like,
It probably is. Or
In
you
it.
just kind of show up. Like,
I mean, if it's all, I mean, I enjoyed it.
I
It took
love
me,
it.
it took me a minute I had to go back and rewatch it to really appreciate it.
The season, I can't remember. Well, the greatest episode, I think, in TV ever is the season finale when they open the restaurant. And the chef has Tourette's, but they're afraid to fire him because he has a number on his wrist. And on opening night, that's when Larry David finds out. He thinks he's a survivor and doesn't want to fire him. But then he finds out those are his lottery numbers he writes on his wrist, and the guy erases them. Well, he has Tourette's too, so in the middle of the opening, like, he just starts yelling out stuff. And so the rest of the cast starts yelling stuff out, and it's the funniest scene I've ever seen in TV. It's my favorite ever. But my favorite season, the gag, for an entire season, Larry David, at the very first episode, he goes down on his wife. And for the rest of the season, every once in a while, he'll just start going because there's a pubic hair caught in his throat, and it's in there for the entire season.
That's awful.
And it will come up in the weirdest times or the most inappropriate times, and it's funny as hell. And I think that's
Because
like,
he committed to it the entire season.
yeah, that's like season 6 or 7 or something like that. But he's like talking to these nuns, and he just starts going, and then he has to explain it what he's doing. He's like, "It's a pubic hair for my wife. I got it in my throat," and everybody gets skeezed out and runs off. But oh, that show's great. Number 9, Rome. I watched all of it. I loved it.
It's only 22 episodes, so I'm sure I could probably knock it out pretty quick.
I've got the box set in there if you want it.
Yeah.
It's good. I don't think I would have put it in the
top 10.
Top 10 because where's Westworld? I love Westworld.
It's a little further down.
Number 10, Silicon Valley. Greatness.
Mike Judge.
11, Deadwood.
I reading this that the F word is like what there are 1.58 F bombs per minute in the series.
Yes.
And I remember going and because I went up to South Dakota to see my sister at the time, and we went through Deadwood. This was actually on at the time, and I'm like, oh, not really worth anything up here.
I watched the first few episodes when it first started, and the language did turn me off. Because I was like, holy crap.
Just gratuitous with the Fs.
Then I was like, there's no way this is factual.
Right.
And come to find out, it is. That is the way they talked back then, and there's a lot of documentation of, even in writing, that's how they talked. And so then when Hurricane Ike hit Houston, one of the things we did in our downtime was we all gathered around in one of the guys' hotel rooms at night, and we would watch like 3 or 4 episodes in a row because he had the whole box set down there with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I fell back in love with it. I was like, this is really freaking good. Once you get past the cursing and everything, it's a really good show.
Yeah.
Number 12, Westworld. Would have been way higher on my list, I think.
I haven't watched that, but I have watched all of number 13.
Boardwalk Empire was good.
Mm-hmm.
Was great.
That last season, though, the young actor that was Steve Buscemi.
Yeah. A little weird.
That was too awkward.
That was a little weird.
That was was that kid just blessed to look like Steve Buscemi? Was he? That was his destiny in life.
Creepy, yeah, like.
Nope.
So just that should be his calling forever. It's just anytime you need a young.
So whenever
Steve Buscemi,
any Steve Buscemi films are all being remade, they're just going to cast him.
Cast him. Number 14, and they put these together because they are kind of they play off each other.
Okay.
But I wouldn't even have put these as a series because these are like a movie to me.
Each of them were respectively.
Yeah, Band of Brothers in the Pacific. Band of Brothers is freaking amazing.
I know Nick has that box set. We have that in our collection.
I have that, the 10.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch it once a year. I didn't watch it last year, but I would go through it once a year because it's so damn good. The Pacific wasn't as good in my mind. You didn't fall in love with characters because like you'd start like, okay, this guy's cool, and the next thing you know, he's
dead.
He's dead. Yeah,
dead.
You're dead.
You're dead.
15, Barry. Still new.
And Bill Hader, I got to be in a mood. I got to be in a certain mood for Bill Hader. I mean, he's always going to be Stefan for me, but I don't know. He's not aging that well for me, honestly. His comedy isn't
16.
saying.
Did you ever get into this Sex in the City and the whole Sex in the City craze and
I
everything?
watched all of it. I watched it.
I watched all of it too.
The movies were terrible.
The movies were terrible. 17 Big Love, watched all of it, loved it.
R.I.P. Bill Paxton.
Yes.
I need to watch
Bill
that one.
Paxton was amazing in this, and having to deal with watching him deal with 3 wives made me realize that I was not that this whole having multiple wives thing is not the greatest idea ever.
I don't think polygamy and that doesn't work.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Well, even just besides the every guy's fantasy is I'll just have multiple
2 chicks at
and
once.
stuff, man.
No, but
What would you do with $1 million? Why do we keep going to Mike Judge references tonight?
nothing wrong with that.
There isn't. 18 Girls. The only scene I've seen is where what's her name gets her butt eaten out.
Lena Dunham. I don't like her.
I don't like her either, but I thought it was what's his name's daughter, the broadcaster that got in trouble for faking everything. What's his damn name? But the guy ate her butt out on the show, like tongued her ass, and it was very graphic.
And they probably did it in one take.
Probably, no, multiple takes. Can you tongue her ass multiple takes, please?
What's number 19?
True Detective, which is bullshit.
I think it's because season 2 is so terrible that they just hold it because they even go on to say that 2 of the best television performances of the decade.
And the very last season is season 1 is a must see, but season 2 should be avoided.
Exactly. It's not that good. True Blood?
Did you get sucked into that?
I never watched that. I can understand where it would be just a vampire soap opera.
I watched it all. It was very weird that Mystique was naked all the time. Like, she was naked a lot.
What, Rebecca Romaine Stamos?
Oh, not Mystique. What was her?
Well,
Rogue.
maybe-
She was Rogue.
Anna Paquin.
Yeah.
Got it.
She was Rogue. She was naked all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't handle it because of X-Men. I was like, I shouldn't be seeing an X-Men naked all the time. She just didn't like clothes.
So, like, if she touched people, were you like, you're not supposed to do that?
Yeah. Treme, 21.
Dream?
I wasn't really into it. As much as I like New Orleans, I never really got into it. Because that was post-Katrina
Yeah,
with John Gooden.
babe, you're still in the chat room. I see that you're at least still on there.
Pretending to listen.
He at least has it open. But we also have one of those seasons in our collection. And Nick is he did spend time in New Orleans, and he came home after Katrina. So I never watched that. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of television that I haven't watched, but there's a lot of HBO television that I haven't watched.
Oz, every time I turned on Oz, someone was getting raped in the butt.
That's kind of what I gathered. Or getting shivved.
Yeah.
Or
you're either being shivved or being raped.
Yeah.
Because it's a prison system.
Yeah.
23, Carnival.
They're trying to build a prison.
God. That was creepy.
It was.
Carnival was great. I dug it. It was weird.
The last sentence on this kind of gives me the often frustrating combination of Twin Peaks, John Steinbeck, and Lost. That gives me the chance to read it. Look at my sponsored ad. I'm going to put that up there for the camera, but look at that ad right there at the bottom.
Leon Bridges.
Look at that. You can see that?
24 is the night of. I didn't watch that.
I didn't either. So that's why it was kind of like, what? I would much rather watch the British original.
25, Insecure.
Nope.
I didn't think this went this long. It goes to 30.
Yeah, because the next one was kind of surprising for me.
Flight of the Conchords at
Yeah.
26.
To be that low, you'd think it'd be a little bit higher up.
Eastbound and Down at 27. That would be higher on my list.
And that was the picture that was the lead in the article.
Mm-hmm.
But it does go on to say that there's just like one joke through the whole thing.
And it worked for
Yeah.
4 seasons.
Yeah, because it's Danny McBride.
Yes.
Exactly. I thought it had its high moments.
It was funny.
Yeah.
28 Enlightened, I never watched it.
I never
Laura
watched
Dern's
that.
weird.
I like Laura Dern, but after watching F is for Family, it's hard to not imagine her as
Wild at Heart.
Jurassic Park.
Wild at Heart was my introduction to Laura Dern, and I was way too young to see her do all that stuff.
Is that where the horse diving? Is that Wild at Heart?
Wild at Heart is the David Lynch movie with Nicolas Cage. And she's naked through it.
Yes.
And the scene where she's like, I think it's her. He's watching her ass go up some stairs, and then she turns around, or they get up there and start fooling around. Then she spreads her legs and goes, well, why don't you take a bite of peach? And her saying that and then going to Jurassic Park always screwed me up as a young kid.
So it made it even worse whenever she was like, oh, Dr. Hammond.
Why don't you take a bite of peach?
Laura Dern just killed your boner.
29 Ballers. I liked Ballers.
I never watched that.
You never did, huh?
I never did.
I like it. I mean, it's stupid. It's Entourage on
Steroids.
30 Togetherness. Never watched it. But where is Entourage?
It's not on there.
Entourage isn't on there. Did you ever watch it?
I did. Occasionally.
And?
Yeah, it was okay. It should be on that list.
It's just a... It's a
Man, this
celebrity
is such
jack-off show.
a clickbaity, because it goes into a whole nother list after that. It's like, yes, Uproxx did go steal everything from Ranker.
They did.
They totally did.
If you go look at Uproxx, it says on their front page, it's the best of this, the best of that, the list of
Brought
this.
to you by Ranker.
All right, last thing I want to talk about. When you're constipated, how do you work it out? With a pencil? You do if you're a mathematician. But wow, it all works. When you're constipated, what's the
logical
common way to try to work that out?
I would think some fiber. Some fiber.
Some fiber?
Intaking of fiber. Or maybe doing a suppository up your butt. That might get things
I've never
moving.
done one of those. I've never done an enema or a coffee enema. None of that stuff.
Or colon cleanse.
Never.
Nothing to fix
Although, I was told if I go get a vacuum, do where they go in there,
But-
the high colonic,
Ooh.
you'll feel so much better. And you'll lose like 10 pounds immediately. But I don't need a vacuum hose. I don't need someone taking their Dyson and shove it up my ass and spraying it out.
I mean,
Because that's what it is, right? It's a Dyson and then a
it's
car wash hose. They spray you up there and just
it's like a pull pump.
yeah.
And they put it on like the backwash.
Yeah, I don't need any of that.
Watch out and switch it over to winterize.
You want us
Like
to
the
wax
creepy
it while
crawler?
we're up in there?
Creepy crawler, like actual pull equipment for your butt cleanse. No. How do you take care of constipation?
Well, you don't do what a Chinese man decided to do after his friends said that they knew about this folk remedy as a cure. And this kind of sounds like something that would go down in here. Matt, you're constipated? I heard about this folk remedy where you take an eel and shove it up your ass.
You
So
think I
it
could get one of
will-
those at the Asian market down there? You think they got live ones down there?
Says, yeah, they may. You have to go to the Fort Worth Zoo. He said he came to the hospital experiencing abdominal pain, and he omitted the fact that he had shoved an eel into his body. He was rushed into emergency surgery, and the doctors were shocked to find a 20-inch Asian swamp eel in his intestines.
So it made its way up.
The doctor asked how it got there, how it swam up, and the doctors, that's how it got there. At first, he said it swam up his ass.
On its own.
And then he admitted that he willingly put the eel up his ass because his friends told him that that was a folk remedy
To cure his
to
constipation.
cure his constipation. So, with friends like these, who needs enemies?
Oh.
Don't ever shove a swamp eel, an Asian swamp eel. I don't care what part of the world it's from. It could be a Louisiana swamp eel. Don't shove an eel up your ass.
Do you think it was 20 inches before he put it up his butt?
It's a good question.
And what part of his intestines did it?
Well, they show a picture of it, and it's not pretty.
I wouldn't.
It's creepy looking. Well, all eels are creepy
Oh,
looking.
yeah. Because it immediately makes me think of Flotsam and Jetsam.
I ran into one night.
An eel?
Yes. I was walking down 7th Street. No. I was in Cozumel, and we decided to do a night scuba dive. Or a night snorkel. We weren't diving. We didn't have tanks on. And usually it's pretty safe, to do that at night. You're going to run into octopus and
Jellyfish
pufferfish.
or two, or just...
There's no real jellyfish down there.
Mhm.
But you'll run into octopus. You'll run into maybe a nurse shark.
Mhm.
But it's really, really safe and tame, especially if you're right around where the resorts are.
Mhm.
So we hopped in. It was dark. Had our waterproof flashlights, and we're swimming around. And my cousin's with us. My cousin's been diving for years. He's about 15 years older than me. And he's cruising along the top of the water, and all of a sudden we just see him dive down, and he takes off. And he goes down to the water, and he kills his light. We're like, what the hell's going on? Like, it's creepy. And then he turns his light on, and there's this eel, just a regular green eel, wrapped around this carcass of a fish because earlier in the day, a couple of fishing boats had come in, scaled their fish, and threw the bones down in the water.
Right.
So this eel's wrapped around this carcass. And he turns the flashlight on, finds its face, and blinds it. And the eel immediately just goes limp. And so he brings it up to us. And this eel is huge. Like, I could, my hands going around it wouldn't meet.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, pet it, touch it. And it's the softest thing I've ever felt. I was like, this is amazing. And we just kind of jacked with it there for a little bit. But it was all of 7-8 feet long.
Yeah.
Creepy. And he took it back down to the bones and let it go. And then he kept his flashlight on as he backed away, and it went right back to that carcass and wrapped itself around it and was just shredding it. Like, it's the most metal destructive thing I've ever seen of this animal, just ripping it to shreds.
Mm-hmm. But it's like constricted around it, just to be like,
Yeah,
oh,
just like it's holding in its place.
Yeah.
Just, and I was like, God, that's badass. It was super, super cool. But they are creepy as hell. During the day, when you're going around some coral and they're just sitting there with their mouths open,
oh yeah,
looking at
I
you.
can imagine.
And sometimes they'll come out, they'll kind of chase you out when you pass them, and you're like, what the hell?
She's like, back off me, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Just swimming.
Anything that's snake-like is creepy.
I'm okay with snakes.
I kind of am, too.
I'm okay with snakes. I let them have their space.
Unless it's a moccasin
Yeah.
or a copperhead.
See?
Those two, or a rattlesnake.
Yeah, but at the same time, rattlesnakes.
I like watching rattlesnakes. They're fun.
watch them
They're
coil
cool,
back up.
yeah. Nothing creepier
No.
than being out in the middle of nowhere and you just hear that and you have
Yeah.
no idea where the fuck
But
it is.
also, you're right with the water moccasins. Like, if you're just like out on the dock or you're out like late night,
Leave me the fuck alone.
Catfishing,
They'll chase your ass
don't
around.
come up around my boat.
No.
Nope. Mm-mm.
They will chase you around.
Mm-mm.
I shot one with a blow dart once.
Hi, I was raised off of Eagle Mountain Lake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Up there.
Between the alligator gars and the water
yeah.
moccasins.
There you go. Up there, Blue Bayou.
Mm-hmm.
We were up there in a little boat and fishing, and little metal aluminum boat out there.
Little John boat.
Little John boat. And we're cruising along, and one came through there, and then the guy I was with He had a blowgun. And I put a dart in a water moccasin's head,
It still kept swimming after you.
and
Didn't
it kept coming.
Yep.
And I was like, well, at least we have a marker to know where the hell the thing is. It kept coming. And he ended up, he had a little 410 pistol and shot it. But
Yeah.
they are bastards. They used to chase us all over my farm
Mm-mm.
by the tanks.
See, snakes that just become self-aware and just want to come after you. That's a different story.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna leave you your space, but I don't think I'd be okay with an eel. Like
It was weird. It was
wouldn't wanna-
very, very weird.
I wouldn't want to just meet one and be like, oh hey, bud."
Yeah, he brought it up, and I was like, "This is strange." And then we
Petted
played
it.
with it, and then when he let it go back down there, and it wrapped itself and just went to shredding, I was like, "What did we just touch?"
Yeah.
What-
What did we disturb?
Yeah.
We just tranced it.
I mean, hopefully, it won't look up here and go, "Huh, there's meat on that."
Yeah, and
We
it's
chase
still
you down.
moving.
Yeah.
And it's dark.
Mm.
You live to tell the tale.
There's nothing creepier than the ocean.
Whenever I was younger, I wanted to be an oceanic photographer. I blame Jacques Cousteau.
Yeah.
And I kind of blame National Geographic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, when you're just swimming along and it's just pitch black below you
Yeah.
and you have no idea what's underneath you
Nope.
and all you can
And
see
the
is
pressure. The pressure is
Yeah.
a factor, and just
Yeah.
mm-mm.
you're just cruising along
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, I want to, have this giant squid just comes up out of nowhere with these suction cups. Yeah, and you always hear the stories of, oh, I was out at Eagle Mountain Lake, or I was out at
I was out on Lake
Possum.
Worth.
I was in Possum Kingdom. I was down there by
Came
the
across
dam.
15-foot alligator just came right up on my boat.
Oh no, the one is Possum Kingdom. I was scuba diving down by the dam, and I found this Volkswagen, and I was swimming around it, and all of a sudden it blank. It was a goddamn catfish.
No, them catfish that are the size of bovines underneath that Lake Worth Bridge. When you're on Jacksboro Highway, they dredged it, but it scurried them up. They probably just went on back to Vance's camp, back up in the nature center.
Well, I've seen alligators. out there.
I've heard of these massive catfish,
Yeah.
and I have family that went and noodled, but it not like they went and noodled and had half a catfish eat half of them or anything like that.
Yeah.
But
so.
I've heard that urban legend, but it could be true. Look at all the shit that they've been dumping in Eagle Mountain Lake and Lake Worth after all these years.
Lake Worth, the island for the nature center,
Mhm.
is where I saw alligators. We were out there riding bikes
Mhm.
on the trail they have that goes around the whole thing, and we saw gators one day
Not on that
Sitting
little
there.
island. Yeah.
on the little island. Yeah.
Well,
So,
during the spring they
And you
they
see
come
'em.
up. During the spring and the summer they'll come up and they'll sun themselves.
well, they said there's a bunch up there around Blue Bayou
Mm-hmm.
where Kenneth Copeland's compound is.
It's up in my neck of the woods,
Uh-huh.
where it's still Tarrant County, but kind of Wise County.
That guy's place.
We've talked about that guy's place with his
Mm.
M16s.
Mm-hmm. His MP5s.
Oh,
Yeah, that guy. They create that place creeps me out. That's a compound waiting to explode.
that evangelicals.
Mm.
Gah.
All right,
What else we got?
I guess that's it. I just wanted to see how you would cure constipation.
Not with a 20-inch Asian eel,
No,
swamp eel,
not with a green eel from Cozumel either. That wouldn't fit in anybody's anus
or like the. Have you seen
unless you goatsy.
the seals that get the eels stuck up their noses? It's like leopard seals.
No, I have not
I'm gonna
seen
find that picture just so I can show it.
Oh, we did have deaths.
Wait, what?
We already have our first trifecta for the year, and we're 2
Oh,
days
yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
Mean Gene, wrestling figure, wrestling announcer, wasn't he? Did he wrestle?
He was. No, he was an announcer.
But he never fought, right?
No, he was a promoter type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the one that hit me hard today, speaking of Curb Your Enthusiasm, was Super Dave Osborne. Funny dude. Well, that sucks having an eel shoved up your nose.
Yeah. Wonder if that seal died that way. But
Hmm.
no, they do it just to like.
And here we are worried about our Coke,
I know.
our plastic Coke rings for
I
our
know.
6-packs, and
They're just shoving eels up
they
their
just
nose.
shove their eels up their nose.
And number 3, love couldn't keep them together.
Couldn't,
Couldn't.
Mr. Daryl Dragon,
Captain.
the captain. Man,
Playing keyboards.
2019's a bitch already.
Drank.
Yo, drank. I'm not drinking. That's the problem.
Me neither.
I'm not drinking.
It's not that bad. You can go out in public and not drink and have fun. I do it. I do it every day.
What do you order when you're at a bar?
Whenever I go to the chat room, they automatically hand me a Dr. Pepper. But if I'm out and about, I'm not going to drink a whole bunch of Dr. Pepper late at night, so I'll get a soda with double lime.
Well, I'm not allowed to drink Dr. Pepper.
Don't do it.
I haven't had a Dr. Pepper in like 12 years now. 'Cause
Don't do it.
that was my heroin.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah, I would drink way too much Dr. Pepper.
That's why I drink tea and why I haven't switched entirely over to Dr. Pepper to replace the nicotine, because the NRT is coming up soon. The nicotine replacement therapy is coming soon.
Can we petition bars like Mass, like the chat room, even the Owl, to have sweet tea? Can we get some sweet tea?
The only thing that I see wrong with places trying to do tea is the fact that it is impossible with the health code and the fact that you actually have to brew it on site. You can't make it at home. So you'd have to put in a tea brewer.
Why can't you just buy some 2-gallon jugs from
You could too. You want some of that Turkey Creek tea?
some Chicken Express tea or whatever,
I don't know. And that could kind of.
or Chick-fil-A tea or whatever, and bring it up there, and then, or if I'm coming up there, can I bring some tea?
I know that I even made that joke today. Is that yes, I drink Dr. Pepper while I'm at the bar because I can't bring my tea glass
Bring some tea.
into the bar.
I know I'm not the only one that has preached this. I think Jeffrey Lord has preached it too.
Well, I know
Let's have some tea.
the Alec, who works at the chat room, he brings up some extra topos because he knows that he drinks his fair share. So if maybe that should just be a service that I provide to our bars, because I almost brought that over here the other night. I was gonna go and get one of those empty gallon jugs because Jennifer was like, "Well, just bring whatever beverages y'all want." And I was like, "Well, I'll fill my 40-ouncer up." So I brought that thermos just full of my tea. But yeah, I'd go around and I'd brew tea or let me take tea into places because I don't want to keep drinking Dr. Pepper all the time.
Yeah, it's not good for you.
It's
and
not.
Or put a Keurig in there
Yeah.
and let me bring some pods. I'll pay you $5 to use your Keurig for the whole night.
That's an idea. Maybe you should look into that.
Here, I'm gifting the bar
A Keurig.
a Keurig.
Here's a Keurig. Anybody can use it. As
Anybody
long
can
as
use
y'all
it.
take
as long
care
as
of
it's
it.
clean, you put water in it. Clean the filter. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Here's your Keurig. And I'll bring my tea pods up there, my matcha green tea, all my fancy teas. As long as I can bring me some tea. If I'm gonna stop this drinking stuff, I'm gonna need something with some kick. This water at a bar doesn't work because the waters always suck.
Yeah, that's why I do club soda with lime. Because if they're already going through the house, I know you hear a lot of people are like, "Ugh, I don't drink. I don't imbibe in the fruit." Like people that are like, "Oh, I don't want lemon on my tea." Because then you think about it. Like I've cut plenty of citrus in my life, and I know some people don't have as much hygiene
That's true.
as I do when it comes to being in the kitchen and serving other people. But you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take that risk and have them throw on a couple of limes on my club soda. Because you know what? Y'all cut it. Give me a little bit different. Because
Yeah.
I don't do Topo Chico. Topo Chico
It doesn't work for me either.
It doesn't agree with me. It gives me some really bad heartburn and reflux, and it makes my gut not happy. Because yes, I understand that it's mineral water, but it just
I'm not big
it's
on.
almost too much bubbles.
I will drink the crazy water
The alkaline
from
enriched.
Mineral Wells,
Mhm.
but Topo doesn't work. It's like too strong, and if I drink it, I need to half it. What I used to do with like Perrier was half it with cranberry juice.
Right.
So that way I got a both, or pineapple juice or whatever.
Mhm.
If I could do that, then I'm fine. But it's Topo's almost too overpowering.
Well, it got bought by Coke, and so it's been different since it got bought by Coke.
Yeah.
And I don't see a lot of bar owners just putting money in to get some San Pellegrino or, some Perrier, which would be nice.
Yeah, you're right.
But at the same time, I mean, I know I can't bring in my own beverage, but at least be open to suggestions.
Yeah, give us some suggestions. Come on.
We can reach
some
out
tea
to
machines.
some
All right. Well,
Team T in 2019.
yes. You ready to get out of here?
I suppose.
Let's do it. So next week, I think we have a guest. I think it's Brian Breckenridge. I believe that's
It
on the
might be.
schedule. It
Well,
might be.
What, next week? Ooh, next week on the 8th, I got to go do that jury summons.
Oh my God.
And then on the 9th, this is the MRI. The brain
Wow.
scan.
I
got a busy
You
week.
got a busy week ahead of you. Let me look at the schedule. I'm looking here. Yes, next week is Brian Breckenridge.
Brian Breckenridge, cool.
And then on the 15th, we've got Garage Barrage coming by.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you want to, shoot us some more emails, voicemails. We'll get to them next week.
Yeah, the
While Brian's
emails.
here.
The emails are going to get open.
Wide open. We're going to spread them all open.
While Stubbs is back, considering
Hopefully his negotiations have gone well and he's back. If not, oh well. We'll just move on. I don't see
AIDS.
the chat room isn't rioting yet, so maybe we'll see.
A wily bunch there in the chat room.
It is. So, yes, shoot us an email. It's jerryjonestownmassacre@gmail.com or a voicemail. Where you at, Kevin? It's a new year.
I think Kevin probably ran his. I think he probably got nicked by his
Probably
parole
so.
officer.
682-593-JJTM. That's where it'll be. And to end this show off, I'm going to play a song by the Tomorrow People, who I won't be seeing this Saturday thanks to the fucking NFL. So, good night. All right. We have less than a minute in the Mixler. How long was this show? It doesn't seem, I don't know.
Is it coming up? Is seriously almost 3 hours?
Well, we had Mixler open for a long time
We did
beforehand.
before we actually started.
So, I don't know. So, Mixler's about to die in about 20 seconds.
Yeah.
This was show 295. Save it.
January 1st, 2019.
January 2nd.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. All
Stubbs
right.
has AIDS.
Peace out, chat room. It's closing in 5, 4, 3. Oh.
Stir the beans, babe. Off air.
Nice. You filled all 3 hours. Please restart to go again or upgrade to broadcast for longer. I thought we were upgraded for forever. No, there were 84 messages in the chat room.
Yeah, because look at.
Go around.
Yeah, because she was listing off all the.
Yeah. There were quite a few in there for a while. And now it doesn't list. We can stop that stream too. It doesn't list.